Chapter 1, A Different Guild Boy. Kingdom of Forest Magnolia. Inside the Fairy Tale Guild, the members of the guild chatted happily. Very lively. Peng, I'm back. At this moment, the gate of the guild was kicked open. A young man with cherry red hair, a dragon scale scarf, and vertical pupils walked in from the outside, swaggering in. Natsu, one of the most troublesome members of Fairy Tale. And there is a girl behind Natsu. She has blonde hair, a beautiful face, and an enchanting figure that doesn't fit her age. She was very cumbersome dragging a large suitcase. Natsu, you have to kick the door every time you come back. You broke the door of our guild. That's right. If your kid is in trouble again, the president will teach us a lesson when he finds out. Can you keep a low profile? Natsu also brought a girl with a leg. The people in the guild stopped fighting, and they all laughed and made fun of Natsu. The members laughed and chatted happily. There is only one person who is not in harmony here, crawling on the table and snoring. He has a black trench coat, blue hair that is neither long nor short, and his hands hang freely under the table as if weak and boneless. Snoring with his head tilted and his mouth slightly open. Snoring. The heavy snoring seemed to have nothing to do with everything around him. Crackling tilde. Bang 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 tilde. It didn't take long for Natsu to get into a fight, and the entire guild was in chaos. Some cups or stools were thrown over by the beating people and smashed on the sleeping teenager's head. Is this the Fairy Tale Guild? Little stars bloomed in Lucy's eyes, and the group of people watching the fight also smiled. Alabama, you're new here, aren't you? Welcome. At this time, Mira Jane walked over to Lucy with a tray in hand, smiling and saying hello. Mira Jane, it's me. Lucy's eyes were like stars in the night sky, constantly twinkling, staring at Mira Jane, and instantly turned into an idiot. Sorry, people in the guild have always been like this. Didn't I scare you? Mira Jane asked with a smile. Lucy shook his head quickly. Sweeping through the noisy guild also found the boy lying on the table. Curiously, he stretched out his fingers and asked, what happened to that person? Was he knocked out? Mira Jane followed her fingers too. He put on a smile again and said, you said Dino. It's okay. He just slept more deadly, just in time to introduce him to you. Oh. Lucy nodded. Mira Jane brought Lucy to Dino and put the tray in her hand on the table and couldn't help poking him. Dino, wake up, Dino. Mira Jane shouted. Hoo. Dino, however, was like a bonus puddle of mud that Mira Jane couldn't poke at. Lucy blinked as Mira Jane wondered what she would do. Dino, there's a super cute girl from the guild. Mira Jane did not panic at all, bent down slightly and approached Dino, muttering in a low voice. At this time, sleeping Dino trembled slightly and slowly opened his eyes. Then, Mira Jane, who was scratching her head and looking at her with a smile, also put on a smile. Mira Jane, you are as beautiful as ever today. How about going on a date later? Dino leaked a smile. Then Mira Jane rolled her eyes and chuckled. Herza will call you a scumbag if she finds out. Mira Jane smiled. Dino chuckled, looking at the girl next to her. She was a little ecstatic when she saw the face and hair color. I didn't expect the story to start so soon. That's right. Dino is not from this world. He traveled through this fairy tale world 3 years ago. Be a boy named Dino and get a sign-in system to get many types of magic attacks in this world. What kind of dressing magic, receiving magic, destroying god magic, smashing magic, dragon killing magic of various attributes, etc. Anyway, he has 8 more common magics on him. Just 2 years ago, the system stopped making a sound after the last check-in, as if it was no longer there. At that time, Dino was really confident that he planned to punch 12 shields, step on the black dragon or something. But when Dino was about to act, he found out it took him too long to cross over and he had already forgotten the plot. To this, Dino was also depressed for a long time. After wandering around, I accidentally found the Fairy Tale Guild. Dino thought that as long as he was in this guild, those villains would always appear. Simply join Fairy Tale temporarily. Now that I see Lucy, I also understand that the plot is about to begin. Those villains will also appear one by one. Beautiful lady, it's an honor to meet you. After returning to his senses, Dino was also very gentlemanly, placing his right hand on his left chest and nodding lightly. Thank you for your compliment. Lucy was a little overwhelmed by the gentleman like Dino and waved his hand in thanks. So beautiful lady, can we go on a date? I know there's a very beautiful place for us to have a deep conversation. Next second, Dino walked in front of Lucy, stretched out his arms and wrapped her thin waist, ready to go outside. Alas, that's not good. Lucy panicked and turned to Mira Jane for help. The latter smiled. Dino, don't bully her. Listen to this. Dino also smiled and stopped. Hurry up and stop, you idiots. Just when I was about to say something, a huge figure appeared in the guild, roaring and yelling at everyone. Everyone stopped fighting at this moment. Chapter 2, Go to Shiloh Secondary Outlet to receive the Celestial Spirit Key. Standing still, not daring to move, Dino glanced at the huge figure and yawned, let go of Lucy and went to rest on the table. He was not interested in listening to President Makarov's nagging. You guys have caused trouble for me again, yourself. Snoring. Makarov's shrunken figure stood on a high place with some documents in his hands, and before he could speak, he heard bursts of snoring. For a while, everyone in the guild turned their heads to look at Dino lying on the table. Makarov also trembled as his mouth twitched. He roared at Dino. Dino, can you understand the rules? I'm the president. I'm in a meeting. Please be more serious. Saying that, Makarov's arm grew bigger and smashed towards Dino. Lucy's eyes widened as he watched Dino, who was lying on the table. Want to speak? Don't worry. The president can't hit him with too much force. Mira Jane smiled and reassured. Like this, Lucy stared at Dino, who was still sleeping when he heard it. Isn't he afraid of this kind of attack? The fist was about to land on him. At this time, perhaps in response to what Lucy was thinking, when the fist was about to land on Dino's body, a grey magic circle appeared above Dino's head lying on the table. Instantly dragged that fist. Lucy couldn't see what magic this was. Obviously there is no move out. Just relying on the magic array will withstand the long fist. You bastard. Makarov saw that his fist could not fall, so he had to fold his fist angrily. This Dino boy has only joined the guild for 2 years, but his strength is becoming more and more unfathomable. Although he had never fought with the boy, he instinctively felt that it was not necessarily who would win if he fought. At this time, Dino sneezed and opened his confused eyes again. Raising his hand and beckoning to the president, he said hello with a smile. Yo, it's a meeting. Makarov's face darkened. He clenched his fists but couldn't say anything, so he just snorted and landed on the ground to find a place to sit down and sullen. Everyone in the guild breathed a sigh of relief. Dino, come play. I'm on fire. Although Dino is powerful, but there are still people who always like to challenge him beyond their capabilities. Like Natsu. The idiot. Forget it, Natsu. I might as well sleep a little longer if I have time to fight with you. Besides, have you forgotten the score between the two of us? Dino rolled his eyes and continued to lie down. What? Natsu opened his mouth to let out his breath. Lucy was puzzled. Why did it feel like Natsu was about to get discouraged? In the past 2 years, the score between Natsu and Dino has reached a 500 score difference, and Natsu has not won a game after 500 games. Perhaps sensing Lucy's doubts, Mira Jane spoke up quickly. Lucy was stunned, shocked that Dino's strength is so strong, and at the same time admire Natsu's courage. Will he continue to challenge? After 500 defeats, Dino, let's have a fight. Natsu got a little desperate and challenged Dino again. Is my father back yet? Just when Dino was about to reply to him, he saw Makao's son Romeo speak. Dino glanced over and went straight to sleep. Next should be Natsu and Lucy going to rescue Makao. Not interested in this. Dino instantly fell asleep, paralyzed there. Bang tilde. A sound woke Dino again. Natsu also walked out of the guild with his luggage. Dino, you're going to sleep again. You're idle anyway, so let's go out with Natsu. Makarov was silent, swept over Dino and was about to go to sleep without getting angry. It was a scolding at him. Dino rolled his eyes immediately. Forgive me, it would be too much of a problem to find someone to ask me to go over. Joke. This kind of little thing made him look down on him too much in the past. Shut up, you know every day that it's better to go to sleep than in, so get out. Makarov scolded again. He was upset when he saw Dino now. Probably because his authority as president was being challenged. Dino opened his mouth. Seeing that Makarov seemed to still be angry, he simply yawned and stood up and walked outside. An, like happy, is a kitten. It is also obtained by the Dino sign-in system. But that little guy is still very hardworking. After he came to the guild, he was busy learning magic and doing tasks every day. Dino is a snooze guy, and Anan is a pretty hardworking kitty. After thinking about the time, Anan is estimated to be back with Urza soon. After going out the door, Natsu, who watched as he walked away, didn't follow. Forget it, let me and Natsu get bored wherever I go. Why don't I go out for a walk? Dino shook his head. Although the president asked him to follow Natsu there, he wasn't interested. Turn the corner and walk in the other direction. He decided to take a car to travel casually, and also eat delicious food from other cities. Inside the carriage, Dino fell asleep. I don't know how long it took to feel the carriage stop, and Dino also opened his eyes. Yawning and wiping the tears from his eyes, he stepped out of the carriage. Where is the master here? Dino went to ask the master. The master glanced at him and replied, Hiro's second store. Okay. Dino also recalled after hearing the name. He remembered that there was a plot in this city, and he went to the place called Dukeaber to destroy a book. Yes, a book called Sunrise. If I remember correctly, the owner of Dukeaber seems to be a celestial spirit wizard with a Virgo celestial spirit Virgo. Dino rubbed his chin and thought. After thinking about it, he decided to get it back. Nodding his head, he walked directly towards Dukeaber. Chapter 3, The Panaceo Brothers Appear. Powerful smashing magic. To be honest, Dino also has celestial spirit magic. Unfortunately, his celestial spirit magic is not the same as Lucy's. Lucy's celestial spirit is a zodiac sign, and Dino's is a zodiac sign, and also has 12 golden keys. This is all given to him by the system, and basically does not belong to this world. So Virgo celestial spirit Virgo is optional for him. But get it in your hands first. The rest will be discussed later. The entrance of Dukeaber's mansion. Looking at the closed door, Dino also thought about going in by storm. He was going in to grab something this time, so he didn't need to be so polite. In addition, that Abe is not a good person. He was once in prison and forced others to write an autobiography for him, so he didn't feel any conscience. After reaching the gate, he raised his hand and placed it on the gate. Smash magic. Swoosh smack. The gate was directly disintegrated by Dino's smashing magic, and a large hole 2 meters high was formed. Effortlessly get through and walk in. Then what should we do? Or should we use a big move to directly destroy the entire Duke's mansion? Standing in the yard, Dino also held his cheeks and thought. Sometimes being too strong can be a headache, and it seems like a good choice to directly destroy the Duke's mansion. Breaking into Duke Abe's mansion and removing them all. At this time, there was a sound, and 4 large bales bulged from the ground. With a bang from Peng, 4 bulging earth bags exploded and 4 deformed women flew out. A variety of maids with football heads, gourd heads, light bulb heads and square heads jumped out. He stabbed Dino with an enlarged kitchen utensil weapon in his hand. Didn't the Virgo come out? Dino swept over the 4 maids who jumped up and muttered to himself. His target is just Virgo. Not interested in anything else, the 4 ugly maids raised their hands weakly. Smash magic. Next second, a man-high magic circle appeared in front of the raised palm. In an instant, a brilliant light shrouded the 4 maids in front of them. After a burst of light, there was nothing left in the yard except Dino. The 4 maids had disappeared and nothing was left. Boring. Why don't you just destroy the entire mansion? Dino grumbled and continued to walk forward, pushed open the door and walked into the hall. In a certain room, Abe sat on a chair with a crystal ball in front of him. What emerges from the crystal ball is Dino, who enters the lobby and wanders around. His hands clung to the armrests of the table and chairs. Because of too much force, the knuckles were all bloodless. He said angrily, "Damn, who is he and why did he suddenly come to my place? Whatever, let's the Panicias brothers kill him." Judging from the tattoo on his shoulder, it seems that he is also a member of the Fairy Tail Guild. Let our brother tell him how big the gap is between the hunters of the Mercenary Guild and the prey of the Ordinary Guild. Behind the seat, Brother Panish from the South Wolf Mercenary Guild stepped forward. Indoor hall. Dino yawned and looked up at the huge golden statue erected in the center. It's really rich. At this moment, his raised head also retracted. Call out. A cracking sound rang out. A man rushed over from not far behind, holding a huge frying pan in his hand and slashing it under Dino's head. Go to hell. The gust of wind from the dancing pan hit Dino. The latter looked up at the frying pan that was about to fall on his head with a sleepless expression on his face. Ah, so boring. Dino muttered. Swoosh, boom. The pan fell. A splash of dust. A big hole was punched out on the ground, and the mud and stones were splashed around and hit the walls. Even punched out small holes one by one in the wall. Ha! Fairy Tail isn't too good. Just a stinky brat like you dares to enter the Duke of Abe's mansion alone. My mother will die of laughter, said the brother of the Paniche brothers. And his younger brother also came out in his pocket, and his face changed greatly when he swept the ground where his brother smashed. Brother, be careful, the younger brother shouted. At this moment, Dino had disappeared from the position of the pan, and appeared beside the Paniche brothers. The right palm becomes a claw and the body bows down. Eyes are still so lazy. Too late, Dino said. The right palm clawed and hit the brother of the Paniche brothers. The magic circle is activated. Smashing magic. Don't speak ill of Fairy Tail in your next life. Swish. Dazzling white light flickered. The body of Nipnu's brother shone with white light. It turned into a little starlight and disappeared mysteriously. Even his frying pan has dissipated, leaving only the big hole punched in the ground to swear that someone has been here just now. Elder brother. Brother Panish stared at his brother who disappeared and exclaimed. Then there is no way to recover it. He looked at Dino again with bloodshot eyes, his fists pulled out from his trouser pockets, and his eyes widened with hatred. You return my brother. Saying that, he also rushed over and hit Dino. However, Dino leaned back slightly to avoid the attack, and slapped him on the body again. The magic circle of smashing magic was activated on him again, and the 2 Panicio brothers followed in the footsteps. The powerhouse of Fairy Tail, I don't understand the purpose of your coming here, but the Duke's mansion is not a place for you to run wild. At this time, Abe's voice sounded. Wow, Tilda. Just in front of Dino's feet, he suddenly stretched out his hands, grabbed Dino's legs and pulled them down toward the ground. Chapter 4, Shatter, Shatter, and Turn into Nothingness. Dino was pulled straight into the ground. At this time, only the head was left after being buried deep underground, and a large bag was bulging on the ground not far away. Virgo's burly figure jumped from the ground into the air, and the huge figure blocked the light. Flying Virgo crash, shouted Virgo in the air. Her huge figure pressed towards Dino, who was deep in the ground, from the air, and a series of movements were quite skillful. Dino's listless eyes cast a glance at Virgo in the air, and said, Virgo is still useful, so don't kill it for the time being. As for Abe, let's destroy it along with the Duke's palace. At this time, a larger magic circle appeared at the top of Dino's head, covering the entire Duke's palace room. The ground trembled. Abe, who was hiding in the ground, had to reappear. That Virgo even stopped attacking directly, falling behind Abe to protect him. As the celestial spirit, Her mission is to protect the host. What's the matter? Abe widened his eyes and felt that his entire Duke's mansion was trembling uncontrollably, trying to stabilize his body in horror. Smashing magic middle nothingness. Rumbling tilde. The walls and floor of the entire Duke's mansion shone with light. Ordinary residents in the entire Shiloh subcity saw that the Duke of Abe's mansion was surrounded by a mass of white light. One by one, they were terrified. But the next moment, the white light shattered like a mirror, and when the light disappeared, the entire Duke's mansion disappeared without a trace. There were no buildings on that land. It's as if the Duke's mansion has never been the same. What's going on? Why did Duke Abe's mansion suddenly disappear? What is that white light just now? Could it be that there are sorcerers fighting against Duke Abe? Why did it suddenly become like this? Run away, it's terrible. Wouldn't it be unfortunate if it affects us? Countless people shouted in horror. In a panic, he left the street and returned to his home, closing the door. An open space. Dino yawned and picked up the celestial spirit key belonging to Virgo from the ground, put it in his pocket and was about to leave. Just took 2 steps and found that there was a book on the ground. The book called Sunrise. It wasn't destroyed by me. Could it be a mistake? Dino wondered. Go forward, pick up the book and walk towards the city. Everything was so calm, as if the Duke's mansion that had just been destroyed had nothing to do with him. Magnolia. Fairy Tale Guild. Creek tilde. Dino walked in listlessly from the outside, only to find that all the people in the guild were looking at him invariably. Yo, they're all here, Dino greeted. However, in the next second, Makarov directly enlarged his figure and stepped on Dino. There was also a roar in his mouth. The little devil is causing trouble for me again. Dino yawned and glanced at the large footprints that covered the sky, lying directly on the ground and snoring to sleep. Slap tilde. The sole of the foot stepped on Dino's body and pressed down hard, and then Dino's body showed no sign of being squeezed. Hoo. All that came out was the sound of snoring. Makarov shrunk down with a dark face and threw a stack of papers on top of him. What are you doing at Shiloh's store, little brat? Didn't I ask you to follow Natsu to Macau? Makarov asked. Dino opened his eyes and stood up and patted the dust that wasn't there. He shrugged after picking up the stack of papers for a brief look. Forget it, President. It's not good or interesting to go to Macau for such a simple thing, and it's a mission to go to the Shiloh sub-store. I remember that there was a mission to destroy a book, Dino said. Hiss. As soon as his words came out, the entire guild immediately gasped. 1 or 2 of them stared at Dino in horror. It seemed that something extraordinary was heard. I didn't expect Dino to have a mission too. Mira Jane smiled. Kana took a gulp from the glass. Dino, you're drinking too much, right? Who said no? It's incredible. Others also sighed. Dino's face darkened after hearing these words. Hey, what do you guys mean? It's like I've never done a mission. Dino was speechless. However, the people in the guild continued to watch him quietly. I remember that you have completely retired since and learned magic. Do you think you made the money to buy, eat, drink and play in the guild and real estate? Kana rolled her eyes. Listen to this. Dino was just about to get angry, but after thinking about it, he found that there was nothing wrong with what he said. Little brat, if I remember correctly, you used multi-line dragon-slaying magic to do quests or duel with Natsu before. How could this kind of magic destroy the entire Duke Abe's mansion without even a single brick left? Makarov asked. Dragon Slayer magic. There is no doubt that the attack power and destructive power of this magic are quite powerful. Every time Natsu returns from a mission, there will be major destruction. But he had never heard that Dragon Slayer magic could destroy not even a single brick in a place. And according to the council, the magical energy there was quite strong at that time. As far as Makarov knew, this kid Dino should be a Dragon Slayer magic with multiple attributes. The absence of this energy wipes out a place and nothing remains. After hearing Makarov's words, the members of the guild were shocked again. What? This kid Dino can wipe out the entire building with one move and nothing remains. Fake it. He wasn't much stronger when he fought Natsu. I'm on fire, Dino. Let's fight. You are too strong. Chapter 5, Extraordinary Strength, a battle with Natsu. The members of the guild couldn't believe it. Natsu often goes to fight with Dino, and they go to see every one of them. Although I also know that Dino will always be stronger than Natsu, but I don't think it should be much stronger. In addition, the Dragon Slayer magic should not have such a terrifying attack power to wipe out the entire Duke's mansion. At this moment, they all looked at Dino with mixed emotions, and Dino scratched his head. Is it really too much movement? It's nothing specific. Anyway, just don't treat me as an ordinary person. No direct response to Makarov. After being fooled, he just lay down on the table and continued to sleep. Makarov looked at Dino, who was falling asleep soon, with complicated eyes and didn't ask any more questions. Everyone has their own secrets and he has no right to get to the bottom of it. Big brother Dino. At this time, Lucy walked up to Dino and sat down and spoke softly. Yo. It's Lucy. Are you going on a date with me? Dino looked up. Seeing that it was Lucy, he also leaked the expression of the big brother next door to say hello. Lucy didn't respond positively, and asked, I heard from Mira Jane that Dino brother, you still have real estate, right? I want to rent a house. Oh, about renting a house, of course there is no problem. Then we will go out for a drink and have a good chat, Dino said with a smile. This time Lucy didn't refuse to nod. Dino, don't ignore other people's words. Let's fight. On the other hand, Natsu couldn't stand it and yelled at Dino. And just as Dino was about to refuse, he quickly thought of something, and stopped. Here, Natsu, you can fight me. But how about we make a bet? Dino said. Now the entire guild is curious. They all knew that Natsu couldn't beat Dino. Although they called to fight Dino almost every day, Dino refused every time. I used to fight occasionally, but now I don't fight much anymore. After hearing Dino's words today, I wondered why he agreed this time, and what the stakes were. Even Makarov curiously put down the wine glass in his hand, intending to observe it later. No problem, I'm burning. Natsu agreed directly, and Dino also smiled and said, if you lose, you can't just jump out of the window into her room. When Lucy rents the house, you have to stand at the door and knock on the door every time. Even if no one opens the door, you are not allowed to jump out of the window. How? This time even Natsu was puzzled. After looking at Lucy, he thought about it and agreed, although he didn't know why Dino said such a thing, but he still felt it was fine. AI, happy is also weird. Want to see something in Lucy's or Dino's face? Then come outside. Dino smiled. The reason why he said such a request is very simple. He likes the little girl Lucy very much, so he can't let Natsu have too close contact with Lucy, especially secretly go to Lucy's room. Everyone in the guild is also a little strange. Fortunately, this problem didn't bother them for too long, and they all followed Natsu and Dino out of the guild to the open space outside to watch the challenge. Natsu, this idiot, can't beat Dino at all. Hey, it looks like the 500-0 score is going to change again today. I hope that guy Natsu can hold on for a longer time. Boring. Natsu is not as good as Dino in every way. Dino is still very strong. The previous date has always been etched in my heart. Does the president really want them to fight? After the fight, they will spend a lot of money to repair the ground. Come on Natsu. All the people in the guild stood on one side with a smile and quietly looked at the two people in front of them. Is Natsu going to lose again? Lucy asked. Mira Jane smiled. Natsu is very powerful, but still not as good as Dino. As far as we know, there are 3 types of abilities: fire, iron, thunder, and dragon-slaying magic with 3 attributes. Who knows if Dino has other attributes? Death. Lucy sighed. His eyes stayed on Dino. Is this person who always looks dazed and can't wake up? Can he be so powerful? To be honest, Lucy was a little curious. I don't know how much means this kid has. Makarov also looked at it seriously. His eyes stayed on Dino. To be honest, he had a guess that the magic about the complete disappearance of Duke Aper's mansion was probably the one he knew. Of course, he was just skeptical until Dino didn't show it. In the field, Natsu and Dino stand opposite each other. I'm on fire, Dino. I'm going to beat you. Natsu is still full of energy. On the other hand, Dino is still listless. The people who swept around and stared at Natsu, who was on the opposite side, decided to move as much as he thought in his heart. Natsu, you've seen my Dragon Slayer magic. I don't want to fight you with Dragon Slayer magic today. I can let you see how much the gap between you and me is after the Dragon Slayer magic is removed, and you can save it. You fight me every day, Dino said. He decided to switch to another move to show Natsu. The pupils of the surrounding guilds were all constricted. Some can't believe it. Chapter 6. The Mysterious Celestial Spirit Magic. Everyone is shocked. 6. Dino is amazing. Besides dragon-slaying magic, he has also learned other types of magic. Mira Jane's eyes flashed with surprise. Lucy and Happy and Gray and Kana all looked at the president. And Makarov also frowned and shook his head. Of course, magic is very magical. For example, Lagosas has thunder attribute magic in addition to thunder dragon slayer magic. It's not surprising that Dino knows other types of magic. Just don't know what type he studied. Death. So many kinds of magic. Lucy was surprised. She found that Dino seemed more mysterious. Gives a very reliable and powerful impression. And on the field. Come on, I'll definitely beat you with fire, Natsu said. The pupils are vertical pupils, and there is a faint flame burning around. The air around Natsu showed signs of twisting. Everyone looked at Dino, wondering what kind of magic he would use to compete with Natsu this time. And Dino, looking at Natsu's looming flames, he also smiled. Stretching out, his eyes glowed a little bit, and he reached out and took out the necklace from the vest on his body. Only then did the guild find out that Dino was actually wearing a dozen small beads on a rope around his neck. Why did he take out his necklace ornaments so well? Oh, are you showing Natsu that he has a necklace? What the hell? The people in the guild are strange. But Lucy felt a little familiar when he saw the necklace for some reason. But it was vaguely unfamiliar, and there was a strange atmosphere that made her feel the familiarity of celestial spirit. And Loki, who was hiding in the crowd with yellow hair and glasses, also frowned and looked serious. Speaking of which, although I have never used this kind of magic, Natsu, please don't underestimate me, Dino said. Then in front of everyone, magic power slowly rose from Dino's body. Soon, Dino put his hands together in front of his chest, and the next second, the 12 beads on the necklace also glowed. Open it. Celestial Spirit Magic Zodiac. Immediately, everyone in the guild widened their eyes, looking at Dino in disbelief. His brain was buzzing. They didn't expect Dino to have celestial spirit magic! This. Lucy was startled. Loki's pupils also shrank, staring at Dino in disbelief. He even knows celestial spirit magic? Lucy was surprised. You must know that she is a celestial spirit magician herself. I haven't felt the familiar feeling of celestial spirit magic on Dino in the past 2 days. She hadn't even seen the same beads on Dino's neck. Zodiac signs? What is that? Could it be the name of a certain creature in the celestial spirit world? This kid. Makarov also stared at Dino sternly. Of course he knew about celestial spirit magic, but he never thought that this kid Dino could still have this kind of magic. He had never seen or felt his ability to use it. The same magic as Lucy. Natsu is also wary. He knew that celestial spirit magic was used to summon special beings. So I'm curious if Dino will also summon that Tauren. What the hell? My name is Lucy, bastard. Lucy complained. His eyes stayed on Dino again, waiting for his next move. Celestial spirit magic trap it celestial spirit clothes. At this time, one of the small beads on Dino's neck slowly left his neck and floated on the fingertips of his clasped hands. Blooming white light. A magic circle appeared behind him, and a rabbit pattern that stood up from the magic circle appeared. Next second, the rabbit-like pattern poured into Dino's body. A tattoo of a rabbit appears on the shoulder of the right arm. In the eyes of everyone, Dino's legs were slightly longer and thinner. Then Dino looked at Natsu. I'm attacking. Swoosh tilde. Moment. Dino disappeared into the ground where he was standing. President Makarov, Mira-Jane and others were all shocked. So fast. This speed is simply unprecedented, even faster than Jade's magic feat. In the field, before Natsu could react, he realized that Dino was already in front of him. He clenched his fist directly into Natsu's stomach, and Natsu's eyes widened. Bloodshot eyes also spread throughout the period, and the severe pain made Natsu weak. It hurts, Natsu exclaimed, fighting the pain and punching Dino with flames. However, such a slow fist couldn't even touch Dino's figure. In an instant, Dino disappeared again in front of Natsu to regain the distance. Natsu, you must be too weak, Dino said. Natsu looked uncomfortable. The speed of the punch just now was so fast that he didn't have time to react, and he couldn't stand the punch. He didn't want to fail like that. You lie, this is not celestial spirit magic at all. Why didn't the celestial spirit you summoned appear? Natsu was speechless. The people in the guild next to him also looked strange. In particular, President Makarov sighed helplessly. Celestial spirit magic can also use the power of celestial spirit. As far as I know, celestial spirit clothing is indeed an ability. Lucy nodded in agreement. Yes, celestial spirit magic can indeed do it. But Lucy didn't say anything. That is, the magic must be strong, otherwise it is impossible. But she couldn't figure out what Dino's celestial spirit was just now. Marabd, is there such a constellation? Loki in the crowd also frowned. As the Leo celestial spirit in the celestial spirit world, he has never heard of such a celestial spirit named Amotu. Chapter 7, The battle is over, and Natsu loses his will to fight. 7. In the field. Dino looked indifferent. Sweeping Natsu also said, you don't know it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Judging from your appearance, you probably don't have the strength to fight me, so let's stop there talking. Put your hands together again. The small beads on the body are suspended on the fingertips again. Celestial spirit magic ugly cow celestial spirit clothes. Open 2 doors. Lucy's pupils dilate. She can only open one door now. Even so, it was quite tiring, and Dino in front of him actually opened 2 doors in a row. It doesn't even look like there is any effort at all. This! She was shocked. The people around were also sighed. It's really amazing. The second door is about to open, and Dino's expression is probably very relaxed. So Natsu is going to lose, right? Natsu is going to lose. Dino's strength is more than that. I don't even think he is much weaker than Gildatz. Everyone was shocked that Dino seemed to be doing his best. Even the one-shot Natsu has no resistance, and this kind of strength is estimated to be comparable to Gildatz. Not even Lagos's. A magic circle appeared behind Dino again. A Tauren appeared in the void and continued to possess Dino. At this time, Natsu was not idle. He felt that Dino's move would probably defeat him directly, so he decided to strike first. Peng! The fists collided, puffing out his cheeks and placing his hands in front of his mouth. A fiery red magic circle appeared. Fire Dragon's roar. A huge roar of flames breathed at Dino. Everyone in the guild narrowed their eyes and wondered how Dino would respond. Then Dino didn't respond, still standing there quietly waiting for the phantom behind him to pour into his body. A fiery red flame flooded Dino's figure like a storm. The temperature of the flame was rising steadily as if it was about to melt him, and the ground was also cut into a deep ravine by the impact of the flame. Brother Dino, are you okay? Lucy was a little worried. The flames looked pretty scary. Was it really okay for Dino to be submerged unsuspectingly? Alabama, don't worry. Dino is very strong. Mira-Jane narrowed his eyes. Kana also poured a sip of spirits next to him. The kid is young but he is very strong, and he is also the number one in the guild. Lucy nodded to the flame. The flames were burning and dissipating for a moment. Then Dino's figure emerged, still with that listless expression. He clearly has a handsome and compelling face, but his eyes are also a bit speechless. Natsu, you should know that fire is useless to me, Dino said. Instantaneous. Dino's arms and body are slowly getting bigger, and the muscles that were just right swelled instantly. The ground of the feet was directly cracked by the huge force, and then a big hole with Dino as the center spread to the surrounding. Simple power. Looking at the big pit on the ground, Macau also had a solemn expression. It wasn't some magic, it was just the broken road that was crushed by the power on Dino's body. This power cannot be underestimated. This kid. Makarov looked at Dino with complicated eyes, and he was too surprised by today's battle. In the past, he always thought that this kid was so powerful that he was in the same order as his grandsons Lagosas and Gilduts. Now it seems that this strength has to be improved by several grades. Maybe it is possible to surpass the Holy Ten. Thinking of this, he wanted to complain a little. This kid is only 18 years old now and he is so strong, but this guy is a lazy guy. He doesn't do tasks every day. Outsiders don't know the name of this guy at all, otherwise they will be fairy tale. Will be more famous. Death. Natsu looked at the big pit on the ground with solemn eyes and also felt emotional. Sure enough, he still couldn't beat Dino. He still doesn't even know what moves to use to deal with the next battle. Opposite, Dino stood up straight, looked at Natsu with unusually cold eyes, and asked, Natsu, have you ever felt death? Hiss. As soon as these words came out, the people in the guild felt a chill. Makarov also frowned. This Dino shouldn't want to kill, right? No. Well, not. Everyone was a member of the guild, and he didn't think Dino, a slacker, would kill his comrades. What? Natsu didn't understand. However, in the next second, Dino rushed out, and the pit on the ground was much deeper. Natsu felt goosebumps all over his body as the threat of death rose from his feet to his hair in an instant. The desperation that made Natsu's body radiate with fear. Accept death. Feel death. Dino's voice rang in his ears. Moment. Dino's fist punched Natsu with a never-ending blast of magic. Fist listened in front of him. It was like a thunderous thunder from the 9 heavens. At that moment, Natsu felt an unprecedented fear, and the breath of death made him unable to resist any resistance. A flash of white light flashed across. Natsu's pupils dilated, and his body felt extremely cold. The legs lost strength and fell to the ground, panting heavily on the ground with both hands. The punch didn't hit him, but it gave him the feeling of looking directly at death. Stunned. All the guild members were stunned. Seeing Natsu kneeling on the ground, his brain was buzzing. No one could react immediately. Standing dumbfounded, Dino looked down at Natsu, who had lost his will to fight. Do you feel how weak your power is? Natsu squirmed in his throat but was unable to speak. Seeing the will is about to dissipate. At this time, Dino put away the bottomless magic wave, raised his hand and a magic circle appeared. Chapter 8, Mirror Jane, what a solid boy. 8. Healing magic. A burst of green light fell on Natsu's body. It didn't take a moment for the fear in Natsu's heart to disappear. Hatilda. The members of the guild breathed a sigh of relief. They thought Dino was going to kill Natsu. The result is only to unleash his own powerful magic to mentally oppress Natsu. Even so, they all had a trace of reproach in their eyes. He was also shocked by the scene just now. Dino, what you've done is too much. It's easy to leave someone's heart traumatized when you come suddenly and no one can react. Makarov walked out with an ugly face. The small body can only lift his head and look at Dino. Ah yes. Dino yawned and resumed his usual slack. This attitude made Makarov itch with anger. This kid feels more dangerous than his grandson Lagosas. Master President, this person can only feel how weak his strength is when he has experienced death. I am also thinking of Natsu, Dino said. He knew that the president would definitely not believe it. But Dino knows that Natsu is also a big heart anyway, and it is impossible to be afraid of himself because of this little thing. It won't take a moment for you to regain your full energy. Ugh, Dino, you really like scaring people, Mirror Jane blamed. Then Dino put on a smile. He walked to Mirror Jane's side and embraced Mirror Jane's slender waist. Feeling the faint scent on her body, she also grinned. No way. Who asked Mirror Jane not to accompany you on a date? Am I not bored? Mirror Jane squinted his eyes. This time, he didn't push Dino's hand away from him. I also want to use this behavior to inform him that I can't do such a thing again next time. And Lucy is watching quietly. Natsu, are you alright? Happy also ran to Natsu's side unresponsively at this time, watching him worried. Everyone else is like that. Natsu stood up from the ground, scratching his head and grinning, his white teeth leaking out. It's okay, I feel that my strength has improved a lot. Dino, let's fight again. Everyone rolled their eyes. They were also worried that Natsu would be beaten and lose his fighting spirit. But now it seems that there is no problem. No, I'm taking Miss Lucy on a date. Dino smiled and refused, walking to Lucy's side. He also took her little hand and left the guild. Feeling the temperature of Dino's palm also made Lucy's brain a little sluggish and a little shy. I don't know what's going on with these emotions, so I lowered my head and acquiesced. People go away. The people in the guild were lively. Haha, Natsu, the score between you boy and Dino has increased by 1 more point. It is now 501-0. You are really good. Gray. You want to fight? I'm afraid of you. You drooping eyes. What are you saying with the hanging eye? AI. Brother Dino, what celestial spirit magic are you using? It doesn't feel the same as mine. Lucy walked beside Dino and asked curiously. That's the question she'd always wanted to ask, something she'd never heard of celestial spirit magic. It's different. Yours should be the zodiac sign, and mine is the zodiac sign, which is an alternative celestial spirit magic. Dino replied. Death is worth it. Lucy admired. Brother Dino, do the zodiac signs also have their celestial spirit world? Lucy asked again. Dino smiled. Who knows? Maybe there is or maybe not. Then can I learn celestial spirit magic from Big Brother Dino? Lucy rolled his eyes. Dino raised his eyebrows. Yes, but the rent can't be less. No road race. How could I be that kind of person? Haha, who knows? You are very clever and bad. Hate. Dino returned to the guild after renting a house to Lucy. When I walked in, I found that Kana, who had been drinking, was looking for a task at the task bar. Yo beautiful, Kana has a mission to do. Do you want my brother to come with you? Dino laughed jokingly. Kana turned her head and swept him up and down. Dino, do you want to go on a mission? Everyone in the entire guild knew that Dino's favorite thing to do was lie down and sleep while he was full. I don't usually have time to do tasks. This conversation also made Kana feel that Dino was having bad intentions. Dino smiled and scratched his head. No way, Anan hasn't come back yet. I have no money to eat, and I recently took a fancy to a property, and I lack money. Everyone in this guild suddenly realized. It turns out that this is the case. I am afraid that even the so-called real estate may be coaxing people, and 80% of them plan to do the task because they have no money to eat. Dino, you are really working hard. As far as I know, you and Anan have bought several houses in the past 2 years, right? We should continue to buy them. Wouldn't it be a good to have more money to eat? Sitting next to Macau with a cigarette in his mouth, Wakaba is also joking about Dino, and Dino is sighed. I can't help it, little brother. Besides sleeping, I also like to buy real estate or something. Dino replied. For a time, everyone in the guild laughed lightly. Dino is really a reliable boy. Whoever wants to marry you will have no shortage of houses. Mira Jane smiled. Sure enough, Natsu will never be liked. Happy said. Happy. Natsu snapped. Dino grinned and said to Mira Jane, so Mira Jane want to marry me? Get married. Get married. Haha, Mira Jane and Dino are really a good match. Yes. Everyone in the guild was booing. Chapter 9. Return to Hilo's secondary store. 9. Mira Jane narrowed her eyes. It's really good that everyone is so enthusiastic. I hope you will still be lively when Airzak comes back in 2 days. Moment. The entire guild fell silent. It seems that they think of bad memories, and they all keep their mouths shut and dare not speak. Dino's mouth twitched too. So do you, Dino. I heard that Urza is quite interested in you. Why don't you let Urza marry you? Mira Jane said darkly. Dino rolled his eyes. However, walk over to Kana and start watching the tasks on the taskbar. Why don't we go upstairs to find an S-level mission? After watching it for a while, Dino also looked at Kana beside him eagerly. However, the latter rolled his eyes. Have you forgotten that neither you nor I are S-class mages and are not qualified to do missions? Kana said. My heart is also very hesitant. S-class wizard. Dino also sighed. His strength is enough, but unfortunately, as long as Fairy Tail does not participate in the assessment of S-level mages, it is not S-level, and has no right to go upstairs. Speaking of which, the president is not here. I would like to ask when the assessment will start this year. Dino asked. According to memory, it seems that the assessment should not be long before. The president has gone to a regular meeting. Let's ask when you come back. Mira Jane replied. Listening to this, Dino didn't say more, and continued to look at the tasks on the taskbar. Let's do this. The kidnapper from Shiloh's second store. It just so happened that I didn't ask anyone for a commission for the mission of Duke Elba's mansion that I just destroyed last time, so I can just go and get it back. After seeing those tasks, Dino plans to go to Shiloh's secondary store again. Also, looking at this task, the reward is also 300,000, and just half of it is also 150,000, enough to drink for several days. Hey, are you going to Shiluo's store? At this time, Levy, with blue hair and a cool smaller body, also spoke. Both Dino and Kana turned their heads. Would you like to add me? It just so happens that I'm going to Shiluo's second store to buy something. Why don't we come together? Levy looked at Dino expectantly. Kana also has a look of life without love. I thought I could live a two-person world with Dino. After that, he continued to drink. Should I not speak? Levy also scratched his head a bit unsure. Dino shook his head quickly. It's okay, Kana is just joking with you, and I'm also looking forward to teaming up with Levy to do missions. Really? Levy is also very happy. But two people were unhappy. Levy-chan, are you going to abandon us? Woohoo. Dino, I don't allow you to plot against Levy. We are a team. Jedindroy said aggrievedly. Levy reached out and patted his forehead speechlessly when he heard their words. Sighed. You two, I'm just going to Shiloh's store to buy something, not to die, and Dino is a good guy. How could he plot against me? Dino smiled. Reach out to tear down the task and greet people too. Kana, Levy, It's time for us to go, Dino said. The two women agreed to keep up. On the carriage. Dino, come have a drink. No matter where she is, Kana is always drinking, and she also pulls Dino to drink with her. Kana, we're on a mission here. Isn't it bad for you to drink? Dino couldn't help laughing. Not bad for being the famous alcoholic in Fairy Tail. It's really not enough to leave the wine even for a minute, either while drinking or on the way to drink. Learn from others, Levy. Don't forget to learn word magic even on the carriage. I like this kind of girl who is knowledgeable and reasonable, Dino added. Levy's face flushed red when he heard Dino's words. Looking at Dino with a tangled face, although I have been in contact with him for 2 years, it seems that it is not good to say whether I like it or not. Speaking of which, does Levy have a boyfriend? Dino sat close to Levy. Levy's eyes stared wildly at his heart pounding. He was obviously just a guild partner, but he was a little flustered for some reason. Not yet, Levy replied. He lowered his head and continued to focus on the book on his lap. It seems to be learning, but in fact, it has already lost its sense of proportion. Dino smiled. Then, Levy, can you teach me 3-dimensional magic? I feel like I'm still very talented. Levy looked up at him. It's hard to learn. Really? What do you mean by 3-dimensional magic? Dino asked with a smile. In fact, he himself knows 3-dimensional magic, and the reason why Levy taught him is simply to talk to him. I'll show you. Levy replied. Here. Take a deep breath on the carriage to stabilize your mind. 3-dimensional text middle dot flowers. Done. A group of 3-dimensional characters composed of flowers appeared in the carriage, and the tangy aroma also filled the carriage, covering up the taste of wine. 3-dimensional magic is roughly like this, Levy said looking at Dino. Trying to tell him 3-dimensional magic in this way is not easy. Oh, it's that simple. Dino suddenly realized. Subsequently, the magic power was mobilized and used deliberately and laboriously. 3-dimensional text middle dot flowers. Wow tilde. A blossoming flower also slowly emerged in front of my eyes. Chapter 10. Word magic. It's very simple. 10. Immediately, Levy and Kana both stared at the flowers and couldn't react. It looks pretty simple. 2. Dino said. The two girls were stunned. When was 3-dimensional magic so easy to learn? Learn at a glance? This is so fake. You know it yourself. Levy was stunned. You don't know how long it took her to learn 3-dimensional magic, and now Dino just glanced at it and learned it directly? This would be too shocking. Unless you will, it will deliberately coax yourself. Otherwise, how can you learn so fast? How could it be possible? Of course Dino wouldn't admit it, but the shock to see Levy's seriousness made him very satisfied. All it takes is to surprise them. This will make him feel that there are other pleasures besides sleeping. You are really amazing. You can learn 3-dimensional magic in an instant. It seems that we will also have a genius in Fairy Tail. Kana was also quite shocked. She really can't believe that she can directly learn 3-dimensional magic just by looking at it. When was magic so easy to learn? It just makes me want to die. At this moment, Levy also had a lifeless expression, and she really couldn't accept this scene. Dino actually learned 3-dimensional magic at a glance. The whole person is not well. Haha, luck. Dino chuckled. After chatting with the two women for a while, he also directly leaned on the side of the carriage and continued to sleep. Stab tilde. Woohoo tilde. Hum. The carriage stopped and Dino and Kana and Levy got out of the car. At this moment, they have reached the Hilo secondary store. You guys go do the quests. I'm going shopping. We'll regroup here when I'm done shopping, Levy said. He also waved goodbye to Dino and Kana. The two of them, Dino, also walked directly to the entrusted location this time. Shiloh's store, the home of a wealthy businessman. A woman with pale blue hair holding a handkerchief is also crying with pear flowers. Woo, my husband was kidnapped the day before yesterday. The kidnapper said that he asked us to take out millions before handing over my husband, but I think even if I take it out, I probably won't let my husband go. The woman sobbing. Tell the content of this mission and the information about the kidnappers in a sentence. You mean to say that you are worried that the other party will tear up the ticket, right? Dino frowned, thinking about the message this time. This kind of thing is also human nature, and most of the time most people are afraid of these things. Might as well ask the regular guild to help. Yes. So I hope the two of you can rescue my husband. The woman nodded sobbing. Listen to this. Both Dino and Kana understood the main goal of the mission. That is to rescue her husband. Do you have any other clues here? Kana asked. If there is no clue at all, it seems that it is not easy to find, unless there is a clue. I remember my husband was in the deep forest outside the city before he was kidnapped, and the rest is unclear, the woman replied. Dino nodded. Don't worry, we can definitely find your husband. This side also got up and left with Kana. After going out, thinking and contemplating. It's hard to find. Why don't you find a bar or something to find out if there are any clues? Kana said. Dino also sneered after hearing her words. Are you going to go to a bar, Kana? Aren't you afraid of being molested when you're drunk every day? Dino complained. However, Kana raised an eyebrow. He tilted his head. raised his arms and put his arms on Dino's shoulders and exhaled into his ears, saying, "Speaking of Dino, you are also 18 years old. Would you like to go with my sister and me to experience what it's like to be in the end?" Dino only felt goosebumps for a while. "Forget it, I don't want to eat a mouthful of alcohol, and when you don't have that much alcohol on your body, then I don't mind. Now I'll go to Levi and go out of town together. More people have more safety." Giggle Kana laughed, her body almost against Dino's body, joking, "Then I'll rest for a few days after I go back, and then let's do some adult things." "Okay, let's talk when you can stop drinking for 3 days." Dino responded. Joke. Kana is an alcoholic herself, and it is impossible for her to stop drinking for 3 days just to touch a man. This side also took Kana and walked towards the meeting point. Fortunately, Levi was quickly found in the city. "Hey, have you completed your mission?" Levi was also curious to see the two of them. She hasn't bought anything in such a short time. "No, I have some clues to go out of the city to see. It is estimated that it will take a while after I go out this time. I plan to come and see if you buy things by yourself or go out with you to find clues first." Dino replied. "Tell all the clues of the rich businesswoman." After listening to it, Levi also suddenly realized, "Then let's go together. You are all companions and you can't let you do it yourself." "Alright, it shouldn't take too much time." Dino nodded. He plans to use magic to find out where the woman's husband is after he leaves the city. The three left the city. Soon he came to the deep forest and sat down to rest after walking around casually. Dino plans to use magic to open the trail of the kidnappers. Chapter 11, Find the target and chase it towards the nest. 1. Why didn't the damn woman give me the money? But we have to hurry back to implement the lullaby plan. We can't continue to waste time. Sure enough, the most poisonous woman's heart. That woman may wish for her husband to die, so that she can take so much inheritance by herself. Yeah. Let's kill this businessman quickly and leave. At this time, the three of Dino quickly heard the voice and looked at each other in surprise. "I didn't expect such good luck," Dino said and got up and asked to look for the past. The same is true for Kana, who packs her bags and is ready for a fight. Soon, the three of them came to a high point and saw 5 guys chatting with torches in an open space below. Among them was a pair of twins, and one of the other 3 held a ball. The other 2 look a lot like a big rooster, and the other one looks a bit like a goblin. They have tattoos on them. Seems to be guys from a certain guild. "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Dino greeted several people from a high place. The few people below also turned their heads and looked over, and their eyes widened when they saw the tattoo on Kana's waist. "Fairy tale!" several people exclaimed, and all them stood up at random and looked at the three of Dino vigilantly. "Yo. It looks like you know our guild, so can you tell me which guild you belong to? Can you give me the kidnapping of the rich businessman?" Dino greeted. Kana next to him also took out his cards and prepared to fight. "Haha. Your grandfather, we are from Isenwald. It is bad luck for you to meet a few of us today. Go to hell." The guy who looked like a big cock laughed. A wooden wand in his hand was emitting red flames and was aimed at Dino and the three of them. Kana and Lace remained silent. This made the people below even more arrogant. "Hey, it turned out to be a newcomer. Dared to be so careless. You are scared." However, with a relaxed smile on his face, Dino reached out and grabbed the flames directly, shoved into his mouth. Slowly, the flame was directly eaten into the stomach. "Ugh, your flames are really unpalatable." Dino retched. The eyes also turned into vertical pupils in an instant, and the body burned with raging fire. Compared with the flame of the big cock, it is simply a sky and an underground. "Then you accept my power," Dino said. "Take a deep breath and place your hands in front of your mouth." A fiery red magic circle appeared. Fire dragons roar. Violent like a volcanic eruption, the huge flame burned towards the place where the 5 guys below were. Boom. Bang bang bang. The flame rushed over, and the powerful impact was very powerful, directly burning the land into particle crystals one by one. The powerful flames made Kana and Levi beside them feel hot. "You guy, even though you have the same dragon-slaying magic, it's so much more powerful than Natsu's. It's just terrifying." Kana sighed. Natsu is also the dragon slayer of fire, and it can't compare to Dino's at all. Whether it's fighting instinct or flame temperature, Natsu's is a small fire, and Dino's is a raging fire. Yeah, Dino is so strong. This flame seems to be coming from his hands, and it doesn't consume him at all. In our guild, only a few people such as the guild leader have so much magic power reserve. Levi also wiped the sweat from his forehead. Below, Dino's attack is powerful. The destructive power is also quite astonishing, but after all, the opponent is not an ordinary person. Although he can't fight, he can avoid this attack. Dodging to the side can be considered to temporarily avoid this attack. Seeing that the place where he had rested had turned into a big pit, his face was ashen. Damn, this guy is not an ordinary person at all. Why would he eat flames and attack with flames? This is unscientific. Not only that, the destructive power of this flame is too amazing. It can't be beaten at all. We have to find a way to escape from here. Several guys gritted their teeth. But it was clear that what appeared at the moment was not an enemy they could fight against. Just leave. Although it is a pity to let the rich businessman go, but there is no way. Damn it, Since the guys from the Mere Dark Guild have appeared, they still want to escape. If this is known to the rest of the guild, it will be a joke to kill me. Kana said. Reach out and grab a card. Call Thunder. Raiden appeared and attacked those guys. Levi also applied the three-dimensional magic. Three-dimensional text middle dot butterfly. Several butterflies flew towards the 5 guys trying to stun them in this way. Cut. It would be a shame to let you all run away today. Dino bared his nose. The body jumped out and went straight into the air. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Dino's body did not descend, but was suspended in the air. This guy is not simple. Is this flying magic? Kana looked at Dino in the air and was speechless. This guy can even fly magic. What else could he not do? Death. Levi admired. Sure enough, Dino is really a genius, and he can learn three-dimensional magic not only at a glance. Even now it can even fly magic. So amazing. Chapter 12. Attack on Eisenwald's lair. Thanks to the big guy Zero for the reward. Then you should die. Dino swept over the 5. At this time, a trace of yellow electric light began to appear on his body. He successfully entered Lianlong mode. Fists clenched together. The firelight and electric light on the body are intertwined with each other. Lianlong's raw, more powerful power and attack power rushed towards the 5 guys. Even before they reached the side, the clothes on those 5 guys showed sign of burning out. The temperature of the flame has risen to a level that ordinary people cannot bear. Boom boom tilde. The sound of explosions and shattering resounded through the valley. On the ground, the 5 guys had wounds all over their bodies, lying on the ground in near death. Then do I want to kill you next? Looking at the 5 guys who were not dead yet, Dino also fell from the air, rubbing his chin and thinking. Kana and Levi also came down from the heights. Go first to wake the fainted rich businessman. Then pack up the rope and trap the 5 members of the Dark Guild and prepare to take a look at it later. Are you also robbers? When the rich businessman woke up and saw the 3 dinos, his expression changed again. Could it be that his wife hasn't taken the money to save him? We are the Fairy Tail Guild. Now that you have been saved, we will escort you back later, and our mission will be completed by then, Kana said. The rich businessman was relieved to hear this, but still didn't dare to say much. Swoosh tilde. At this time, a black shadow stretched out from the ground directly towards where the 5 trapped people were. Dino touched his chin and smiled. And the enemy? Kana exclaimed and looked around with the card. Levi also looked around cautiously. Hee, it's so interesting. I didn't expect it to appear. Dino smiled. That's right. After hearing the guild names of the 5 guys, Dino remembered who these guys were. The move here just now can completely kill all the people, but still show mercy. The purpose is to draw out the guy who is hiding in the dark, so that his ideas can continue to be implemented. Look at Kana and Levi. The shadow just now should be a member of the Eisenwald Guild. You two are sending this rich businessman back, and then take our reward back to the guild first. I'll go to the Eisenwald Playhouse. Dino smiled. Both Kana and Levi stiffened. Such an interesting thing. I want to go too. Kana sighed. It's very exciting to hear about kicking the hall, especially Eisenwald of the Dark Guild, who can give it a shot at that time. Maybe you can get more wine or something to drink. Are you alright? Levi was a little skeptical. It's true that Dino is strong, but going to the gym alone or something is too worrying. In my heart, I also wanted Dino to discuss these matters with me after returning home. It's okay, you go back first. Dino shook his head. The body slowly levitated and a sprint chased after the fleeing man. It disappeared in no time. Forget it, let Dino go. We'd better go back early, Kana said. Levi agreed, and the two led the wealthy businessman toward Shiloh's second store. Through the power of Sky Dragon Slayer magic, Dino could also smell where the guy who escaped was. This will follow without hesitation. His purpose is also to find Eisenwald's lair. If Dino hadn't encountered this kind of thing, he really didn't have any interest in going to the gym. He might as well go back to the guild to sleep more when he had time. But since I let Dino touch it, I'm sorry. If you dare to save the person I want to kill, then use your entire guild to make up for it. Another is that Dino really wanted to try the so-called demon strength in Lullaby, and whether it was really that powerful. Hope you don't let me down. Don't ask too much, just let me have a little bit of fighting spirit, Dino said. The main reason for his lazy look on weekdays is that there is no opponent who can let him go. That is to say, Dino doesn't know yet, and he doesn't remember where those powerful enemies are. Otherwise, he will definitely rush over to kill those people first, and Natsu and the others will be the turn to fight. Front. The galloping Kajima is also in a complicated mood at the moment. He could feel that someone was following him behind him. This person seemed to be hanging behind him on purpose, and the purpose was unknown. Damn, since you want to follow, let us Eisenwald be your burial place. Kajima's face was hideous. Immediately turn around from a canopy and head towards the Eisenwald Guild. Rear. Dino was dozing off a little while flying. After seeing the turn, he paused for a while and then chased after him again. I guess that guy was trying to lure him towards Eisenwald. That's fine. In this way, they quickly rushed towards Eisenwald one after the other. Eisenwald at the moment. Inside, Eriga, who holds the title of Death God, sits high on a throne, and below are the employees in the guild. They are waiting for Kajima and others to come back. The purpose is to bring back Lullaby this time. Peng. At this time, Kajima slammed into the door and rushed in panting. Everyone in the guild looked at him, wondering why he was so out of breath. Kajima, what's wrong with you? Eriga's face was ugly, and he used his wind magic to fly up from his position and look at him. Mr. Eriga, someone is following me, Kajima said. Chapter 13, Dino, let me teach you how to use wind magic. 3. Shock. Immediately, the entire guild widened their eyes in shock, and Eriga even slashed directly at Kajima with a scythe. The latter could only sit on the ground and close his eyes to bear his anger. Kajima, you brought someone to our guild? You are so bold. Eriga snarled. Kajima closed his eyes and didn't answer. Eriga swept him coldly and said again, okay, you are useful now, otherwise I will definitely kill you. I ask you, did Lullaby get it? Hearing this, Kajima also put on a sinister smile. Take out a skull flute with 3 eyes and hand it over. When Eriga saw it, he picked it up and screamed, ha ha ha, that's great. With this guy, I must let the guild president and the old men know what despair is. Bang bang bang. Eriga was about to continue laughing when he heard a knock on the guild door. Is anyone home? Outside the door, Dino knocked on the door very politely. He was also amazed at the strangely shaped tree trunks around the Ice and Wild Guild. Sure enough, it was in line with the setting of the Dark Guild, and the guild residence was so gloomy and weird. Creak tilde. The guild door was opened. Dino also saw everyone in the guild, the one with a silver slaughter haircut and a scythe on his back. Eriga with tattoos on his body. At this moment, he was suspended in midair and looked at Dino silently with his death-like eyes. I didn't expect it to be a kid from the Fairy Tail Guild. It's really annoying. I'll tear you to pieces today, Eriga said with a grim smile. Without waiting for Dino's answer, he immediately raised his palm and aimed it at him to attack. Magic wind palm. A purple magic circle appeared in front of the palm, and a powerful gust of wind struck. The sleepiness that had just risen from the blowing Dino disappeared. Impressive, Dino muttered. The power in this gust of wind is so powerful that even the Dino blowing can't be regarded as not seen. Standing in the wind and waiting for the wind to disappear. Ha ha ha, Fairy Tail Kid is really vulnerable, Eriga said. After the wind died down, I found that Dino was still standing at the gate of the guild. There were no injuries on his body, not even any holes in his clothes. Great, as expected of you. Dino gave Eriga a thumbs-up compliment. That Eriga's entire face went black. What is this? Ridicule. Angrily waved again. Go to hell, Stormwind. The man-high grey magic circle reappeared, and a gust-like tornado appeared directly around Dino's body. Swept over his body. The tyrannical magic carried in the tornado would destroy him. That guy must not be able to withstand this move by Lord Eriga. Yes, that kid has nothing. How could it be our Lord Eriga's opponent? He must have been exhausted and had been holding on long ago. That's right. No matter what kind of enemy you are under this move, you will definitely die. Members of the guild cheer for Eriga, and Kajima is silent. He always feels that the guy is not so simple. So far nothing has been done. This is enough to show that the other party doesn't pay attention to Mr. Ariel Gao's moves at all. That's it? Is that the power of the moves you called out? Dino's voice sounded again. The smiles of the members of the entire guild were frozen in embarrassment. That Eriga also gritted his teeth and looked at the figure in the tornado. I see. Dino came out of the tornado step by step. Even though the tornado was amazingly powerful, but it didn't make Dino feel any difficulty at all. After walking out, he looked up at Eriga in the air, and then revealed a kind smile. Then it's my turn now. Done. The powerful magic power surged around him. Obviously just standing the motionless. But there is a kind of depression that makes people feel hopeless. Many guild members were pale and paralyzed on the ground, taking deep breaths and panting. That desperate intuition still hangs over them. Who the hell are you guys? Eriga also clearly felt that the terrifying magic power in the little ghost in front of him seemed to be bottomless. The feeling of suffocation made him unable to raise any resistance. I'm just a sleeping guild member, Dino said. On the ground around him, a piece of small stone slowly trembled and slowly floated up. Rotate slowly around Dino's body. Then now, Eriga, I'll teach you how to use wind magic, Dino said. His body slowly levitated. There are also wind blades visible to the naked eye escorting it. Dino opened his hands, and the magic in his body was surging continuously. Wind magic middle dot. The death of the wind. Q tilde. That moment, the endless gusts of wind around Dino spread outward. The storm visible to the naked eye continued to attack the members of the Ice and Wild Guild. Those winds are all over the place. One after another guild members were cut with wounds, and red blood spattered out. The blood did not fall to the ground. Surrounded by the gust of wind, he continued to attack the other members. Stormcoat. Eriga frantically used magic to surround his body. Resist those wind blades that are more violent than the wind magic you use. He watched helplessly as the members of his guild were harvested by the wind blade one by one. Painful moans, groans, panicked flight and inability to resist those dangers. Chapter 14, Smashing Magic. Destroying Evil and Revealing Righteousness. One day. 4. Go to hell. Damn you. Eriga looked at the fallen guild members and his eyes were covered with anger. Turning to stare at Dino, hands raised and folded in front of him. The index fingers and middle fingers of the left and right hands stretched out and pressed together, and small magic circles appeared in front of them. In constant rotation, the magic in the body kept venting. Wind magic middle dot emerald speed. Whoosh whoosh tilde. One after another attacked Dino. each with a razor-sharp edge. If you get hit, you will be cut a lot of wounds. Yes, this is a bit powerful, Dino answered. However, he raised his hand with a lazy look in his eyes and a sneer on the corner of his mouth. But it didn't work for me. Wind magic said that all the wind around Dino was controlled, but the attack that looked amazing could not enter the space around Dino at all. The attack stopped. Erica gasped as well as Dino gritted his teeth. What the hell is going on with you guy? Erica disagrees. He found that the magic that used to be successful before had no effect at this moment. Even if the guy in front of him had the same wind magic as him, why would he dismiss his attack so easily? Accept your fate. Your strength is not worth mentioning in front of me. Dino rushed up. A grey-white magic circle appeared in front of the right fist, and great power emerged again. Hit the storm jacket on Erica with magic power. Ha ha ha, it's useless. My moves don't work for you, and yours doesn't work for me either. Erica laughed. Dino, however, looked at him blankly. It's the plain look in Erica's eyes that makes Erica feel something is wrong. Could it be? He thought about it and decided to retreat. Smashing magic breaking evils and showing righteousness one day. The magic is boiling. Unparalleled power acts on Erica. That absolutely defensive storm jacket has no resistance under this move. The unstoppable force from that fist was like a cannonball stuck at the gate. Once played, it will definitely instantly produce unique speed and power. I will never admit defeat. Erica growled. Constantly manipulating the magic of the wind, the magic power kept pouring out to resist the power on the fist. Disappear. Despite Erica's constant resistance. But it was useless for Dino. The magic poured out, and Erica was punched out. Boom. Erica's body flew towards the sky. It was so fast that it broke through the roof of the guild and disappeared in an instant. There is no magic under this move that can be resisted, and it will hit Erica to a height of 1,000 meters. And Erica will be crushed by the magic in the air at an extremely terrifying speed, and there is only one ending waiting for him. That is, death! After dealing with Erica, he also looked at the current situation of the Ice and Wild Guild. The previous move also brought the death of most people in the entire guild, and after removing a few, no one was still alive. Then who can tell me where is the lullaby you brought out? Dino asked. Those who were still alive had disbelief in their eyes. To know this plan, only the people in their guild will know. How did he know? Are you asking now? But no one answered. The thing was held by Lord Erica. But Erica was already flying into the sky, not knowing his life or death. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I really can't trust anyone, only I can handle all of them myself. At this time, a sharp voice sounded. Dino also looked around, and found that the hole in the Ice and Wild Guild that was smashed by Erica had a cloud of black mist slowly flying into the sky. It was the legendary demon. It's finally out, Dino said. The body slowly floated out of the guild and looked at a huge demon that appeared in the clearing. Little devil, let me kill you. The huge demon's sharp voice sounded, and its mouth widened. A burst of strange music came from the body, and the flowers and trees around it were withered. A grey light flickered in his mouth. Instantly targeting Dino is a massive magical attack. Bang! The attack hit Ice and Wild's entire guild, and the surroundings were silent and lifeless. The few members of Ice and Wild's guild who survived were also completely dead at this moment. Ahaha, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Just kidding me. The big devil's sharp voice laughed wildly. As he spoke, bursts of musical fluctuations spread around. If it goes on like this, nearby cities 100 miles or even further away may be cursed to death. It will turn into a dead city. The power is astonishing, no less than the attack of the Holy Ten, but it is a pity that I am a little disappointed in the end. Dino's disappearing figure reappeared. The body drifted towards the demon, and his eyes returned to a listless state. His purpose in destroying Ice and Wild and releasing the demon was to see how strong it was. Now it seems that although this guy is called a devil, his strength is not satisfactory. At least there's no way to get Dino interested. Go to hell, arrogant brat. The huge demon was even more angry when he heard Dino's words, and continued to attack with his mouth open. But this time Dino won't let him get his way. The body rushes up. Chapter 15, Destroy Ice and Wild, the weak demon. 5. Go directly to the top of the devil's head, squat down and place one palm on the devil's head. You're too weak, then you die, Dino said. Smashing magic nothingness. It was another move that was the same as that at the Duke Elba mansion. Magical release surrounds the entire body of the demon. Without waiting for the demon to make another move, it was completely shattered into nothingness by Dino's magic. After destroying the demon, Dino also yawned and swept over the destroyed Ice and Wild below and turned away. The next step is to go to the Shiloh store to receive the reward for destroying the book Sunrise. Dino fell to the ground. Although flying is convenient, he prefers to walk on his feet, because flying is very mana consuming. If there is no magic power, it needs to be recondensed, but it is not so easy. Fairy Tail Guild. Peng. Damn it, Dino didn't even call me when he went to the gym. I'm so envious. Natsu slapped the table angrily. Natsu, If you go together, it might cause trouble for Dino. Happy was standing at the table eating a fish and talking. Happy, AI, front desk. Do you want to tell the president? Would the president be very happy if he knew? Mira Jane thought. Kana and Levi looked at each other and sat there in a daze with sadness. So scary, really scary guy. He dares to go to the gym alone. Who said it wasn't that? Isenwald is the Dark Guild. Dino is too much to dare to do such a thing. The people in the guild were also amazed. Lucy was puzzled. It's okay, brother Dino should be very powerful. It's just that a guild should be dangerous. However, Gray shook his head and said earnestly, it's different. Isenwald is a Dark Guild. They don't have any idea of fair competition. They will sneak attacks and use all kinds of weirdness. Then what is the Dark Guild? Lucy was curious and reminded again. Also, Gray, you are below. What? Gray looked down in a panic and found that his clothes had been taken off at some point. Creak tilde. The guild door was pushed open, and Dino walked in with a yawn. Dark guilds are illegal guilds. The tasks they accept are generally tasks such as killing people. Such people are still very dangerous. If you encounter those who can't be beaten, remember to run quickly, Dino said. He also slowly sat at the front desk and then lay down straight to prepare to rest. Dino, you are making a big fuss again. I was just about to write a letter to the president to tell me about the situation, Mira Jane said with a smile. Take a glass of wine from the cupboard and place it in front of Dino. Dino, let's fight. I'm stronger than the last time. Natsu also rushed forward. He clenched his fists with excitement. He'd even forgotten about the last time Dino nearly killed him. Kid Dino, you are making a big fuss again. Kicking the entire guild alone, it's yours. Ha ha ha, Dino, you don't move. You move astonishingly. I saw you sleeping every day before. Why didn't you like to make troubles so much? The things you have been doing in these 2 days are getting bigger and bigger. The last time I destroyed a duke's mansion. This time I destroyed an entire Dark Guild. Will I destroy a city next time? Ha ha, this kid Dino is really possible. Come back once. The entire guild laughed. Saying bad things about him is also saying he's not, and there are people who deliberately mock him. But Dino disagreed because he knew that these people were just making fun of him. There was no need to be serious. You geese are also idle. Can you be as mature as I am? And look at each of you. Who is that? Nabu, since I joined the guild, I haven't seen you do a mission. It's not ashamed. Dino curled his lips. Nabu standing on the taskbar is also considered a disaster. Cut. Dino, you kid is not a hard worker either. That's right. It's just that we, your kid, aren't so diligent in doing tasks. Each guild member fought back. Dino rolled his eyes, drank the drink Mira Jane poured himself, and fell asleep again. The people around didn't say anything more when they saw this. Now, Magic Council. 9 figures stood on the magic circle talking. It's those idiots from Fairy Tail again, who like to pick things up so much every time. The last time the entire Duke of Elba's mansion was destroyed has not given us a word yet. This time, the entire Isenwald was silently destroyed, and the demon lullaby made by Sruff was suspected to have appeared. A figure was talking and discussing in a disgusting tone. Apparently I hate Fairy Tail very much. Another man in white with blue hair and a mark on his right eye said, don't blame them if I say it. Anyway, the guys are surprisingly capable, especially the sudden appearance of Dino. It seems that the strength also have the skills of an S-rank mage. This is not bad, and the Dark Guild itself is the guild we are determined to fight. This Dino kid can be considered a good deed. The little old man next to him said the same thing. Chapter 16, Anon, Happy, you are a good cat. 6. In the guild. Bang tilde. At this time, Loki wearing glasses rushed in from outside. Seeing that the entire guild was still bustling with excitement, they immediately shouted, no, Urza is back. Silence. In a split second, the people in the entire guild who were originally bustling were extremely quiet. All that was left was Dino's purring. Lucy was puzzled and asked Mira Jane in a low voice, who is Urza? Everyone seems to be afraid of her. Mira Jane replied with a smile. Urza is the strongest female mage in the entire guild. What a horrible Urza. Natsu didn't dare to joke either. Da tilde. Just when the entire guild was quiet, there were bursts of footsteps from outside. It sounded like the devil was trampling everyone's hearts. The heart trembled with the sound. Figures emerge, after a while, with long fiery red hair and silver armor, a skirt on the lower body, and a huge object held high in his hand. He slowly walked back from the outside. Urza was holding the unknown item in his right hand, and a little girl who was jumping happily in his left hand. The little girl had silver white hair and was only about the size of a 3 or 4-year-old child. Wearing a beautiful white dress. A pair of big eyes are very bright, and at the same time reveal joy and joy. Bang tilde. Urza put the huge thing in his hand beside him and greeted the people in the guild. I'm back. The guild leader is not here. I'm coming back too. The little girl Urza was holding also spoke in her glutinous voice. It's so beautiful. Lucy looked at Urza in surprise, and moved his eyes to her side, and a little star flashed in his eyes. What a cute little girl. Mira Jane next to him also smiled gracefully. Welcome back. The president is going to attend the regular meeting and is not here. Anon is great too. Welcome back. Mira Jane also said to the little girl. The little girl Anon narrowed her eyes and revealed an innocent smile. Looking at Dino, who was sleeping on his stomach at the front desk. He also carefully walked towards him with a smile. "Miss Urza, what is that amazingly huge thing?" The guild members next to him say hello. Urza glanced at him and introduced, "It's the demon horn that Anan and I fought against. The locals gave it to me as a thank you gift." "What? Is it in the way?" "No." Guild members deny. Urza nodded and glanced sharply across the entire guild. "You guys, I heard a lot of rumors along the way that the fairy tale members are a bunch of people who only get into trouble. Even if the president forgives you, I can't forgive you," Urza said. Turning his head to look at Kana, he shouted, "Kana, you drink." "Hey, why didn't you drink today?" Urza was surprised. According to Kana in the past, you should be drinking all the time. Could it be that he knew that he had deliberately hid the wine in advance when he came back? "Urza, I'm going to quit drinking for 3 days, and in 3 days I'm going to do something adult with Dino," Kana said. His eyes moved to Dino, who was still sound asleep. Many people in the room looked at Dino with envy, and this kind of good thing didn't happen to them. Really enviable. Urza's face darkened upon hearing this. He reprimanded the other people again, and his words were extremely sharp. "Hey, Miss Urza seems to be venting her anger on us." "Yeah, who made Kana say this on purpose? Doesn't she know that Urza also appreciates Dino?" "Hoo. Urza continued to scold. "You guys are so annoying," Urza said. "Hoo. The sound of breathing still reverberated. Urza heard the sound and looked over, and had nothing to say about Dino. Dino. The little girl Anan also walked cautiously to Dino's side, looking up at him and shouting in a low voice. Seeing that he didn't wake up, his body jumped. It turns into a cute white kitten and jumps onto the table. "Huh?" Lucy was surprised. Mira Jane smiled. "Hey, Anne herself is a kitten, a kitty like Happy." "Huh?" Lucy was surprised. The eyes stay on Anan's body and love overflows. Whether it's a little girl or a kitten, it's so cute. "Hey Anan, welcome back. I'll treat you to fish." Happy also saw that the atmosphere in the guild eased a lot. Immediately jumped over and took out a live fish from the bag he was carrying. Anan blinked, shook her head, and said in a new voice, "Hello Happy, I don't eat fish." After speaking, he turned his attention to Dino again. Walking to his head, she called softly in her ear with her soft and cute voice, for fear of disturbing Dino. "Dino, wake up, I got my money back." Anan said. "Okay." Dino woke up from his deep sleep when he heard someone calling him. Seeing the kitten in front of her, she also happily hugged her. "Haha, Anan, you are back. Welcome home." AI. Anan Mau blushed and smiled. Dino also happily chatted with her. Chapter 17, appeared, Happy number 2. 7. "Hey, I have never seen such an active brother." Dino. Lucy sighed. Mira Jane smiled. "Well, although Dino sleeps most of the time, he treats Anne very well. He was injured by a dark guild once, and Dino slaughtered the entire guild that day. I heard that before and after. It was wiped out in less than 3 minutes. It's worth dying for." Lucy sighed. And Urza over there didn't scold the others after seeing Dino wake up. "Set your sights on Natsu and Gray." "Natsu, Gray, I need your help," Urza said. At this moment, Natsu and Gray changed their previous disrespect, hugged each other and trembled, and were stunned when they heard Urza's words. The others in the guild were also stunned. Some doubt whether there is a problem with their hearing. "What did you hear just now?" "Urza needs help from Gray and Natsu." "Did you make a mistake?" "So strong." "Urza still needs the help of others." "So what is it?" "I heard bad news in the middle of my mission," Urza said. Not only did they not shock Natsu and Gray after the incident, but they also looked at Dino speechlessly. The rest of the guild looked at Dino who was playing with Anan. Urza thought it was strange. "What are you looking at?" Urza wondered. Or did Mira Jane tell the story in time? Urza, shouldn't you be talking about Isenwald's lullaby Ocarina of Curse? Now it was Urza's turn to be shocked. "Mira Jane, did you learn mind-reading magic?" Urza was surprised. It's really possible that he was said before he said the specific content. Wouldn't it mean that there is no privacy in front of Mira Jane? Of course not, Mira Jane replied. The other members of the guild were also sighing, and they were explaining the matter chatteringly. "The Dark Guild of Isenwald has been destroyed by Dino alone." "Yeah, I was shocked when I heard about him, but obviously it's true." And Dino also said about that Isenwald thing. Yeah, so Urza's prey was preempted by Dino? Everyone in the guild said that. Urza was also stunned, and looked at Dino somewhat unexpectedly. The members of Isenwald accidentally kidnapped a wealthy businessman. The task of the wealthy businessman was taken over by Dino and Kana. Dino kicked Isenwald by himself while dealing with the matter. It is said that no one survived, Mira Jane said. Urza was also dazed after listening. She really didn't expect Dino to be so capable. "Dino, you are amazing." Anan also said with admiration. "Haha, Amir Isenwald is nothing. Another day we will destroy other dark guilds." Dino laughed. Anan nodded fiercely. Anan will also work hard. With her cute and adorable expression, it's affirmed, but it makes people feel more kawaii. Happy's eyes suddenly turned into love. "Anan, may I invite you to drink juice?" Happy was courteous again. Anan shook her head. "Happy, you are a good cat." Urza also looked relieved after hearing Mira Jane's words. This side stepped forward and touched Dino's head. Bang tilde. After a bang, Urza slammed Dino's head against his armor so hard. Dino eats pain. "Dino, Well done. As long as the guild has you, I can rest assured to perform other tasks, Urza said. Dino rolled his eyes. Don't, I'm just a helpless member of the guild. Dino replied. You can't just take Urza's words. Otherwise, there may be many dangerous tasks entrusted to them. Speaking of which, since Dino has solved Isenwild, it seems that there is nothing to be busy these 2 days, and it can be regarded as a good rest for 2 days, Urza said. Sitting directly on the other side of Dino also started chatting with Anan. Hey, I don't know if it's my illusion. I feel that Miss Urza and Dino, plus the little guy Anan, are like a family of 3, Lucy said while looking at the 3 of them. I thought Happy. Wouldn't it be more like adding his words? Urza, come and play with me. The original harmonious environment also disappeared in the next moment. Natsu's invitation to fight. Urza turned his head. Natsu, Dino just told me you almost got killed, she asked. Damn it, I will definitely beat you guys. Natsu was furious. It's kind of scary to think back on that fight with Dino now, and that feeling of dying is still fresh in my memory. Natsu, you're still too weak, Urza said. Continued to talk to Dino with a drink and chat with Anan. Natsu, you better not humiliate yourself, Gray said promptly. Are you going to fight, pervert? Smelly Flame. You are courting death. Perverted man. Smelly Flame. Gray and Natsu couldn't help but fight. Gray, Natsu, what are you two doing? Urza turned her head. Gray and Natsu hug each other immediately. Be friendly today too. Come on, Happy number 2. Lucy replied. Chapter 18, Dino, Lagosas, have you ever been defeated? 8. The following few days. Dino spent a few days in the guild with peace of mind. I didn't go out on a mission, and I didn't sleep all the time. I took Anan to hang out in the city, and shopping for clothes was also very lively. This day, in the end, armor suits me best, Urza said. She has also been hanging out with Dino these 2 days, spending most of the time buying nice clothes for the little guy Anan. Although she also listened to Dino's words and changed her body, but it was very insecure to put on the body, and finally had to give up. So sleepy. President Makarov sat in front of the counter and couldn't help yawning. Is that the guy? Makarov said. Soon, everyone else in the guild also felt drowsy, and fell asleep one by one. The same goes for Urza at the counter. When Dino saw this, he yawned and threw his head on the table, his hands dangling weakly. At this time, the same is true for Anan, who was standing and fell towards the rear. Next second, Dino's comatose arm was lifted directly up, just behind Anan's small body, and Anan rested in his arms. Makarov, Mystigan. Both of them were a little speechless, and it was too fake to pretend. Mystigan. Use hypnotic magic every time you come back. Makarov was helpless when he looked at the tightly wrapped man. Mystigan walked over to the taskbar, reached out and tore down a new task, then turned around again to leave. Sigh. At this moment, Dino gasped and woke up, reaching out and patting his arm. Snapped. A sound also made President Makarov and Mystigan stop. Sorry. Dino smiled. There are mosquitoes biting me, it hurts a bit. So do I need to keep pretending to be dizzy? Dino's face was a little confused. Then neither of them answered. One continued to be silent, while the other walked out of the guild. Hey, don't you count down to 5 numbers to unlock the hypnotic magic? Dino rubbed his chin in a low voice. People go. Seeing that everyone was about to wake up, Dino fell asleep on the table again. Is this sudden sleep feeling Mystigan? It's that guy again. He looks like this every time. What a strange person. His magic is really still so powerful. One by one, the people of the guild woke up. It was quick to guess who this person was. Who is Mystigan? Lucy asked. Elfman replied. He's one of the strongest backups in Fairy Tail. Gray rubbed his head and continued to add. I don't know why, every time he appears, it makes people drowsy. Only the guild leader has seen his true face. No, I've seen it. At this time, on the second floor of the guild, a man with yellow hair and headphones appeared. He is Makarov's grandson, Lagosas. Lagosas, come and fight with me. Natsu again turned toward the clamor for a fight. In front of the counter, Dino also smacking his lips silently. Lagosas at this time is really annoying. Do you want to teach him to be a man? Dino couldn't help thinking. The urge in his bones wanted him to FK Lagosas to make him less rebellious. Dino, I want to eat fish, Anan said gluttonously beside him. At this time, Happy immediately flew up and took the initiative to take out the fish and put it in front of Anan. And Anan looked at it and shook her head again. Happy, you are a good cat. Looking back at Dino, the latter also scratched his head helplessly, reached out and raised it and placed it on his shoulder. Okay, since Anan wants to eat fish, let's go fishing and eat it. Anyway, I am idle these few days, Dino said, regardless of the flaming guild walking outside. Cat, how old are you, and you still walk around a cat all day? Upstairs, Lagosas looked at Dino who was leaving and pouted in disdain. Of course he knew that when Mystigan came, the little guy wasn't hypnotized at all. As soon as the words came out, the entire guild fell silent, and even Makarov couldn't help but frowned and looked at his grandson in reproach. Hey Lagosas, you are too much. Don't you know that Dino loves Anan the most? Urza said. He looked at Dino and tried to persuade him a few words. And Dino was standing there with his back to everyone. Next second, Dino's body disappeared instantly. Boom. There was a loud explosion from upstairs. The guardrail on the second floor was broken, and the yellow lightning rushed out, and the figure reappeared in the lobby on the first floor. Immediately, everyone in the entire guild was stunned. Even Makarov frowned and was quite surprised. Was it the magic of the wind just now? How can this guy Dino still have wind magic? Little devil. You are courting death. The arc flashed on Lagosas, and he looked gloomily in the direction of the second floor. Dino hugged Anan and walked to the edge. A face is very cold, a kind of icy cold that no strangers should enter. Lagosas, have you ever been defeated? Like a devil's dream, resounded throughout the guild hall. Obviously just a few simple words, but the temperature of the entire guild dropped several degrees. Many people couldn't help but feel anxious together. That feeling is terrifying. It's as terrifying as if you are not careful and you will die. Little devil, believe it or not, I killed you. Lagosas scolded angrily. Enough. Makarov snapped. Lagosas couldn't say anything else. Dino's figure disappeared from the upstairs again, and when he reappeared, he was already at the gate of the guild. Lagosas, remember what you said today. Don't let me meet you outside, and don't let me have the opportunity to teach you. Otherwise you will know how small the power you have. Remember, today is the first and last time. Dino's voice echoed, and the others had disappeared. Chapter 19, Dino vs. Lucy, Gray, and Natsu. 9. It's terrible. That guy Dino made me feel like he was an executioner just now. Who said no? I heard that all the enemies who opposed Dino are dead without a whole body. The evil spirit in the momentum is really terrible. Yeah, Lagosas is real. Why bother Dino? That guy almost killed Natsu last time. Yes. There is no mercy in Dino's eyes. Everyone in the guild said that. Sentences of voices and words poured into Lagosas' eardrums. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. He shouted angrily, enough, you guys. You can only blame others if you don't have the strength. Dino is a fart. Sooner or later, I will let him know who is the strongest man in Fairy Tail. Done. He also disappeared without knowing where to go. President, they won't fight. Nobu came over. Everyone else looked at Makarov. The latter thought and laughed. No, they will definitely fight. Ha ha ha. As soon as these words came out, the whole face of the entire guild was pulled down. He was also a little speechless by his expression. Brother Dino is very talkative, Lucy wondered. However, both Urza and Kana and the guild shook their heads. As long as it doesn't involve Anan, Dino is really at ease and sleeps every day when he is full. But when it comes to Anan, what he said must be true. Urza said. Kana also picked up the drink and drank a drink. Lagosas and Dino are definitely going to fight. The president should hurry up and find a way. Dino will not be merciful. Although it is a bit extreme, but Lagosas may really fight. But Dino. Yeah, Dino has shown so far, multi-line dragon slayer magic, celestial spirit magic, wind magic, and three-dimensional text magic. Who knows if there are others? Levi also said. Everyone was silent. It's true now that I think about it. The power that Dino shows is really super powerful. What they saw seemed to be just the tip of the iceberg. Damn it, 1 or 2 is not to worry. Makarov was angry. Everyone in the guild was helpless. Port capital. Hajn. A boat drifts in the sea. A man in a trench coat sat on it, with a fishing rod in his hand. On his shoulder is a white cat. Very well behaved, sitting there quietly watching the floating rod. Dino, here comes the fish. Stop sleeping. Sudden. The float of the fishing rod floated, and Anan immediately grabbed Dino's hair and pointed to the sea. Oh? Haha. Don't worry, I will never let it run away. Let's see how I can catch a big fish for you. Dino laughed. Immediately stand up. Wow Tilda. A small white fish came up from the water. Yo, it's a little small. But it doesn't matter, we can continue to fish. Feed the little fish into Anan's mouth and continue talking. Okay. Anan nodded while eating the small fish. The boat continued to flutter in the wind, drifting deeper into the sea. Night falls. Anan and Dino didn't go on fishing. They just lay on the boat to rest, and they didn't need to be afraid of any danger when they cuddled with each other. The boat just kept drifting, slowly drifting toward the deep island. The next day, Dino slowly woke up, frowning when he saw where he was. Dino, where have we arrived? Anan woke up from Dino's arms, looking at the surrounding scenery and asking. Dino shook his head. I don't know, but let's go to the island first. Taking Anan to the island, wandering around quickly, I saw a few figures in front of a beach. Natsu, Gray, Lucy and Happy. What did they suddenly come to this island for? Dino thought. Anan replied, do the task. Hiss. After thinking about this, Dino also remembered that it seems that there is indeed such a plot after experiencing Ice and World. I'm going. It turned out to be Galuna Island. Dino replied. To be honest, he is not interested in this plot. The main reason is that the opponent this time is Gray's old friend. In this case, he couldn't kill those people. I didn't want to participate in it, but I accidentally got involved. What to do now? Forget it. Let's go and see. Just protect them. Dino still replied. This side walked to them not far away and sat down and waited. Soon, Gray and the others also slowly woke up. Dino, why are you here? Natsu's eyes widened when he saw Dino, who had a cold face in front of him, and he was also shocked. Could it be that the guild elder asked Dino to take them back? Big brother Dino. Lucy was also surprised, and then a little flustered. It's like doing something wrong. Mood is also up and down. Dino, you. Gray also hesitated. It can be seen that Dino's face is cold at the moment, and it seems that he is not in a good mood. Natsu, didn't I tell you that I wasn't allowed to sneak into Lucy's room at night, and you took my words on deaf ears? Dino said. Lucy is also here, which means that Natsu really didn't obey and sneaked into the room. No Dino, Natsu knocked on the door at night looking for me, Lucy explained quickly. Natsu also kept nodding his head. Gray stood silently beside him. That's it. Dino touched his chin and nodded and said nothing more. Let's go, I'll take you back to the guild. You should be here to do quests, and S-level quests are not acceptable to you at all. Go back with me. Stand up directly from the position and sweep over a few people. AI, Happy flew right away. Came to Dino's back to shirk the grievances. Dino brother, I was forced by them. All three had black lines on their foreheads. Here comes the trick again. Impossible. I will never go back. Natsu denied. Gray didn't speak but he didn't want to either. The same goes for Lucy. If that's the case, then I'll beat you up today and take you back, Dino said. Just pull up the stance and get ready to start. Chapter 20. One person fights three people alone, an all-out offensive. 10. Gray and Natsu looked at each other and nodded, deciding to strike first. Fire Dragon's Iron Fist. Ice Make Lancer. Natsu and Gray started directly, one ice and one fire, and the cooperation was quite tacit. I'm sorry brother Dino, I have to participate in this mission. Lucy spoke too. Take out a golden key from your body. Open it. Taurus. Mu tilde. Attack. Dino's figure flashed in the air and looked down at the few people on the ground. Anan, Happy will be handed over to you. You don't need to keep your hands and hit it, Dino said. Anan stood up from Dino's shoulders and nodded. Okay. After speaking, he spread his wings and attacked Happy. Happy also kept flying in and out of the air. Natsu, leave it to me for Anan, and leave it to you for Dino. Bang tilde. As soon as he finished speaking, he was kicked on the ground by Anan's cute little feet. Then Anan was pressed to the ground and beaten. The corners of Natsu's mouth twitched, and they couldn't help sighing, obviously because they were a little speechless by this scene. Seeing Happy who has been beaten all the time, he had to withdraw his mind and focus on the fight with Dino. Let me treat the three of you alone, it's a little troublesome but not too difficult, Dino said. Reach out for a set. The necklace around the neck lit up. No, Dino is going to use celestial spirit magic, he will give me his celestial spirit. Let's go Taurus, Lucy said. Moo. Taurus made a sound and jumped into the air. The double-edged axe in his hand kept spinning ready to hit Dino. Hey, you must have underestimated me, Dino said. Put your hands together. Celestial spirit magic middle. Ugly bull demon king. Rumbling tilde. Boom. Following Dino's call, a space crack opened behind him. A 2-meter-tall cow came out. There are dark green armors all over the body, and a pair of bull eyes with honest loyalty. Swoosh tilde. Next second, the entire body appeared, with a red flame-shaped axe nearly 3 meters high. After rushing out, set up your weapon to block Taurus' attack. Moo. The bull demon king let out a bull roar, stretched out his hand and threw Taurus' weapon out. He clenched the axe in one hand and slashed at Taurus. Don't underestimate me. I will also protect Miss Lucy's sexy body, Taurus said. With the same move, he intends to hold the bull demon king's weapon. Of course. Bang tilde. When the weapons collided, Taurus was knocked down instantly. Its eyes were bloodshot when it fell directly on the ground. How could it be? Lucy was distressed. Looking at the bull demon king summoned by Dino also felt a sky and an underground. The bull demon king, you can play with this beautiful lady. Dino smiled. The bull demon king replied dully, as per your order, my lord. As he spoke, he attacked Lucy. Next moment, Dino's body rushed towards both Gray and Natsu. Come on, let me see if you are qualified to do S-rank missions, Dino said. In the downward rushing posture, it transforms into a Daping spreading its wings. In an instant, a golden magic circle appeared on the left and right hands. Moment. 2 slender long knives with random patterns appeared, waving and slicing at the two people. This is? Gray was startled. Seeing the weapon slashing from top to bottom, he hurriedly dodged. Natsu didn't dare to resist. The two of them evaded the attack one after another, shocking the move that Dino suddenly showed. Transform Magic Titan. The long knives in both hands disappeared, and the whole body was surrounded by holy light. It was the sound that surprised both Gray and Natsu. Urza's dress-up magic. Dino, you guys can do anything. Gray yelled. I'm on fire. Natsu was shocked. The fists collided together, and the body squatted and stretched out the arms. Fire Dragon's Wing Strike. The flames hit Dino like Fire Dragon's wings. The attacker was about to hit Dino. This is when a mutation occurs. Dino was successfully replaced. A set of blood-red armor that exudes magic power tightly surrounds his body. The long swords in both hands disappeared, replaced by a wide holy sword. Hold the holy sword with both hands and place it horizontally in front of you. Bang tilde. Natsu's attack hits Dino in the body. The surrounding soil was blasted, and blocks of stones were sputtered toward the surrounding at a rapid rate. Some weeds on the ground are also burning. The surrounding temperature was instantly raised to a very high level. However, Dino's body stood motionless. Natsu's seemingly powerful moves couldn't hurt Dino at all. Natsu, control him. There. Gray knew at a glance that Natsu alone couldn't beat Dino, and immediately spoke up. Use his own magic. Ice make middle dot tomahawk. The magic power turned into a crystal clear axe blade in his hand and slashed at Dino. Dino watched silently, with both hands clenching the holy sword. Take one back. Open your palm and aim at Gray. With a smile on his face, Gray, my brother will teach you how to use modeling magic today. What? Gray was startled. At this time, ice-shaped magic holy shield. Talking. A cold magic circle appeared outside the palm. A cone-shaped shield appeared directly in front of him, and it was inserted directly into the ground to easily block Gray's attack. Speak again. Ice-shaped magic horse spear. Sky Dragon Slayer magic power of steel arms. Use two kinds of magic together. The former condenses 5 tough spears in front of the shield. The latter directly adds powerful attack power to the spear. Swoosh tilde. The rapid increase in speed seems to be attacking Gray. Ice make middle dot shield. Gray uses modeling magic again. An ice shield condensed in front of him to block the attack. Chapter 21. Damn it. Humiliated. 1. However, the magic that Dino uses is very penetrating. Row is that Gray's ice shield can't stop it. Directly penetrated Gray's shoulder and passed through. What? The next second, the cold temperature poured into his body, causing Gray to cover his shoulders with pain. Gray, Natsu shouted immediately. With that said, he stepped back to protect Gray. Natsu, can you escape? Dino smiled. The armor is missing. Taking a deep breath, the cheeks bulged out at Natsu. The roar of the sky. Q tilde. Powerful air cannons shot at Natsu. However, it didn't stop there, and there were even more powerful moves. Fire Dragon's roar. Roar of Thunder Dragon. Boom boom tilde. A series of powerful attacks hit Natsu. Immediately put him down. The battle is over. Dino takes down Natsu and Gray in a short amount of time with zero gaps between multiple abilities, rendering them incompetent. And Lucy's side couldn't stand it for a long time, and could only passively defend. Although it is said that the Bull Demon King summoned by Dino is not the Bull Demon King in mythology, but it is also a very powerful existence. Don't say Lucy. Even if she summoned the Celestial Spirit King, her own Bull Demon King couldn't be defeated in a short time. And Anan was even more suspenseful. Happy itself doesn't know how to fight, and Anan has magic, so dealing with a Happy is not easy. After sweeping over Lucy, Dino's figure flashed directly to Lucy's side and grabbed her shoulder. It made her delicate body tremble slightly. Flute. Dino brother. Lucy smiled bleakly. She was really speechless. Her celestial spirit was no match for this Bull Demon King at all. Even if it is summoned, it will be beaten back. Simply painful. At this moment, I also pray for Dino's forgiveness. Do you regret it now? Dino had a smirk on his face and didn't wait for Lucy to speak. He raised his slap and slapped it on her skirt. A clear and loud voice sounded. Lucy's body was stiff, feeling the slight pain and a little numbness coming from behind, and his face flushed red, wanting to say something angry, but he couldn't say it when it reached his mouth. That feeling made her very shy and embarrassed. Okay, let's stop here. Obviously your strength is not enough to carry out the S-rank mission. Come back with me. Dino greeted. Turn around and prepare to go outside, etc. Do not want. Big brother Dino. All three were in pain. It would be too reluctant to leave like this after finally coming here. Want to resist, but unfortunately they can't beat Dino at all. Dino, as long as you agree to our S-rank mission, the bonus will be all yours this time. Gray said. Natsu nodded. Yes. All for you. Lucy looked confused, but still sighed. The Celestial Spirit Key is also given to brother Dino. Listen to this. Dino struggled for the first time. To be honest, it is very exciting, especially the Key of the Zodiac. Although he despised the power of these celestial spirits, there was no way anyone could make him have a habit of collecting. Are you really going to let them go? After thinking about it, Dino also stretched. The body fell directly toward the ground. Go to sleep in the next second. Big brother Dino. Lucy came over in surprise and wanted to help check to see if there were any wounds. Then Gray and Natsu froze. Immediately understand. Lucy, while Dino is sleeping, let's hurry up to do the quest. As long as we finish the quest, it doesn't matter. Natsu greeted. Gray also nodded fiercely and turned to head towards the depths of the island. But, Lucy looked tangled up not far away, and Happy, who was still being beaten by Anan on the ground, also had a tangled face. Gray and Natsu also looked over. Yes, Anan is still awake, and it doesn't seem very good to leave like this. And over there, Anan seemed to notice the gaze. Looking over, I found that Dino was sleeping. As smart as her little head understood immediately. The body flies. Wandering over Dino's body, he swept across Lucy's big eyes. My body. Well, it hurts. Saying that, Anan's little paw covered her heart and flew in the air not so steady, and swayed towards Dino's body. Slap tilde. Ouch. After the fall, Anan also exclaimed in pain, immediately lying the motionless. Lucy, Gray, Natsu. Damn it, I got humiliated, Natsu said. Gray was also speechless, sweeping over the sleeping Dino and taking a deep breath. Sure enough, someone as strong as Dino, if he really wants to take us away, he won't have any resistance at all. H's Gray said, reaching out and stroking the shoulder pierced by Dino's spear. Also hurts. Obviously it's all modeling magic, but it's clear that Dino's one-handed creation is much more powerful than himself. I also admire it very much. Yeah, The celestial spirit of Brother Dino is also very powerful, stronger than everyone I've seen in terms of strength, and even has a certain degree of magic immunity, which is terrible. Lucy also said, when I remember the celestial spirit summoned by Dino before, I felt depressed all of a sudden. Obviously she worked so hard and nothing changed. Let's go. With flames in his eyes, Natsu turned around and walked towards the depths. Of course he knew that Dino was strong. Urza's dressing magic, Gray's modeling magic, and the new Sky Dragon Slayer magic are all quite powerful. But he didn't admit defeat. Chapter 22. While the S-Class mission is in progress. Thanks for the 100 reward for Mike Xioi, our boss. People go. After waiting for a long time, Dino also woke up from his sleep. With his hands stretched out behind his head, looking at the white clouds fluttering in the sky and sighing, it feels so boring. Hey, I'm just out to catch a fish. How can I still encounter such a mess? And I have to be a nanny for Natsu and the others. Shit, it's really annoying. Dino said. Anan also woke up on Dino's chest. Lying on her stomach, she asked in her glutinous voice, Dino, don't you like Natsu and the others? Dino put his arms around Anan and got up with a bored face. Not really, I'm still looking forward to how strong Natsu will be in the future. I can't make me serious, especially how strong it will be at the end. Dino said. Anan replied, that's not annoying, I still like Fairy Tail, especially Urta, who is very good to me. Listen to this. Dino also grabbed Anan with one hand and dragged his chin with the other. Looking at her also joked, then do you want Urza to be your mother? AI? Anan stared. Ha ha ha. Dino laughed. A gust of wind blew, and Dino's body also suspended and rushed towards the depths of the island. Time flies. Dino came to the village and lay down directly on top of one of the tallest houses, watching the sky slowly darken. Everything about Lucy and the others seemed to have nothing to do with him. Only Anan, the little guy who is interested in those things, will secretly watch the conversation in the village. Tilda. I don't know when. A mouse appeared in the sky, and a huge figure was carrying an iron bucket in his hand. There are also 3 figures on the body of the mouse. It took some time for these poisonous fruits. I didn't expect those magicians to be here too, and they just happened to be buried together. This is love, Geely said. Then let them experience the power of the poison. Yuka next to him said. At this time, a bucket of highly poisonous poison also fell directly towards Lucy below. The dark green venom slowly fell, about to fall on Lucy. Ah, it's getting late. On the roof, Dino also woke up at this time and stood up from the roof, watching that the poison was about to fall. He waved it. Tilda. A gust of wind blew past, blowing the drop of poison to the side. Tilda corroded the ground instantly and created a big pit. Poisonous. Lucy was startled. He also looked towards the roof, and saw Dino with a smile on his face. Dino, you're here too. Isn't the S-rank mission also very attractive to you? Ha ha ha. Natsu also laughed when he saw Dino. He thought that it was because the S-rank mission was very attractive that people would attract Dino to come here, and it was a bit awkward here. Really, the task that even Dino envied was really not easy. Fool, Dino muttered, and flew around Anan and slowly landed among them. The guy who swept through the air was also a little speechless. The current Leon gang really liked a social beating. Dino ... Big brother. Lucy says hi. Well, how is your mission going? I feel like you haven't gone back for so long. It is estimated that the president will send other people to take you away, so I hope you can move faster. Dino said. As soon as these words came out, the faces of the 3 Natsu were crossed. To tell the truth, of course they know, but dealing with others is not so simple. Another Fairy Tail Guild member, but the 3 seem to respect this newcomer, Yuko said. Geely replied, no matter how many people come, I can't stop my love for Lord Zero. Angelina, let's do it. The mouse under him obeyed. Immediately scatter the bucket of venom in his hand. Cover the whole village. The figure below was in a hurry, and when they saw the venom wrapping the entire sky, they panicked and started to flee. Run away. These venoms will kill people when they fall. Help, I don't want to die yet. Who will save us? I can't run away. The range of this venom is too broad, and it doesn't give any chance at all. A group of people fled in panic. Others feel that despair has begun to give up on themselves, and they almost kneel on the ground and cry. Brother Dino, can you save the people in this village? These venoms are very dangerous. Lucy asked Dino for help. Both Gray and Natsu looked at him. Trouble. This is obviously your task. Dino looked listlessly at the sky, raising his palms at the venom that spread all over the air. Geely and the 3 also felt amused when they saw Dino raise his palm. You're really young. Can you block the venom by reaching out your hand? Even if you block it, you won't be able to remove it all, and a lot of people will die by then, Yuko said. Geely also watched quietly with a sneer. Out. Toby barked. Soon, a huge magic circle appeared in front of Dino's palm. The range of the entire magic circle is much larger than the venom in the sky. Next second, the magic circle flickered, and an icy temperature emerged. In an instant, the venom was frozen alive, forming a falling hood that enveloped the entire village. How come? His magic is so powerful, not much weaker than Lord Zero. Geely's eyes widened. Seeing that the carefully prepared venom is frozen in an instant, the whole person is not good. Don't worry, the frozen venom can also destroy the entire village when it hits the ground. We just need to watch it quietly, Yuka said, although he was also shocked that this guy who suddenly appeared was so powerful. One move directly freezes all the venom. Chapter 23, The Battle of Two Women. 3. But he wasn't really worried. The reason is naturally because the frozen venom is more powerful, and once it falls, it will have a stronger power. However, what they thought in their hearts quickly went wrong. Just when everyone thought that the frozen venom would come in another form, a magic circle of the same size appeared again in Dino's palm. A flash of white light flashed, and the entire frozen venom began to shatter. In less than 3 seconds, it turned into a little bit of starlight and disappeared. How is this possible? How on earth did he do it? To instantly destroy such a large object, not even a small piece of it. The strength of this guy is too deep and unfathomable. The faces of the three changed greatly. Unexpectedly, things that were supposed to be guaranteed to fail unexpectedly. It's unbelievable that you can't even see what means was used. Who the hell is that guy? What type of magic did he use just now, and why is he so powerful? Below, the villagers also cheered happily when they saw that the very dangerous thing in the sky successfully disappeared. It's great. It's not bad that they are members of the Fairy Tail Guild. Their strength is really strong, and they can easily defuse that dangerous venom. This is too powerful. Just raising your hand and appearing 2 magic circles will remove the danger, which is really reassuring. After death, their strength is so powerful. One by one the villagers looked excited. All eyes were locked on Dino, and he was very excited to see him, and I wanted to rush up and kneel in gratitude. Death. Lucy was also shocked, not least because it was Dino's eldest brother. This strength is too strong. They couldn't even see how to deal with the danger, and that almost made it easy for them to resolve the danger that they couldn't do anything about. Really, no matter where he is, Dino will always be the strongest. This power is really not to be underestimated. Excited eyes twinkle little stars, and Gray and Natsu were equally shocked. They did have a way to temporarily resolve the situation just now. But even so, I dare not say that it will be unscathed. Result. Dino immediately cleaned up all the venom. Although I don't know what the effect of the second magic circle is, it is obviously not simple. Gray looked at Dino with a rather solemn expression. On the other hand, Natsu's eyes were almost on fire. If it wasn't for the wrong time, he would definitely fight Dino again. This strength is simply too powerful. Okay, let's continue with the mission. Dino yawned. Lie down with your body suspended in the air. He floated slowly beside Anon with his arms around him, just like a dead person, who soon fell asleep. But this bizarre ability made the 3 people in the air extremely vigilant. Each one is very dignified. This newcomer is too weird to analyze what type of magic he is using. The former can also be guessed to be magic related to ice. The second one is completely incomprehensible, or even clueless. At this moment, the suspended skill also made them wonder, what magic can be so powerful? Nevertheless, the task given to us by Mr. Zero Emperor must not fail. Since venom is useless, then use strength to defeat everything, Geely said. She reached out and patted Angelina at her feet. The big mouse swooped down and sprinted directly, ready to attack. Below, the 3 Greys who were shocked also reacted quickly. Their preparations for battle immediately entered the state, and they were ready to fight with those who came. Swoosh tilde. The mouse did not land directly on the ground, and after a dive, it rose again into the air. Also only Yuka and Toby got off the mouse. Jelly with red double ponytails continued on the mouse. Help. However, there is another person on the mouse's feet, and that is Lucy. Just now, she was about to climb onto the mouse to fight the woman, but she never thought that the mouse didn't land, so she could only hug the mouse's toenails and beg for mercy. Looking at the higher and higher altitude is also frightened. Below, Natsu and Gray glanced at the air and remained silent. They really didn't know what to say. Dino, who was suspended in the air, glanced at the mouse in a daze, and scratched his head helplessly. I thought that after destroying the plot, it would change a little bit, but the plot will continue no matter what, Dino said. The body floated towards Lucy. Be prepared to watch the fight and see what the 2 women's fight will be like. Rumbling tilde. In the air, Lucy reached out and scratched at Angelina the mouse, and the mouse really felt itchy. It stopped flying directly in the air and fell towards the ground, causing a burst of rumbling sounds. Dino, on the other hand, continued to float slowly. Here, Natsu also started to fight people, and his opponent was Yuka, who also looked very good. Dino soon arrives at the spot where Lucy and Neijiri were fighting. Looking at the sea not far away also feels a bit unpleasant, because he vaguely saw a ship coming towards him. If he didn't guess, it was probably Urza. Shaking his head, he looked back at the battle between the 2 women. Chapter 24, Unless You. 4. Below. Miss Lucy, my body doesn't obey me. Taurus. The Taurus attacked Lucy with a weapon, but she was powerless to fight back. A wizard from the Fairy Tail Guild. I don't think it's a big deal. Geely manipulated Taurus with a look of disdain. Get rid of her quickly, Geely said. Taurus is ready to attack Lucy again. Snoring. At this time, there was a burst of snoring from behind Geely. After hearing the sound, Geely's body immediately turned around and pulled away, and then she looked at the place where she was standing. It's you again. Geely was wary. When he was in the village, this guy in front of him easily neutralized the attack. Now he came quietly behind him, enough to see that his strength is absolutely unfathomable. Huh? Dino froze. I opened my eyes and scratched my head in confusion. I glanced at the scene and saw Lucy being subdued by Taurus. Yo Lucy, are you playing a game with your celestial spirit? Dino greeted. Lucy also saw Dino in time to call for help. Brother Dino, Taurus is under control. I can't close the door. Oh, Dino suddenly realized. Then he turned his eyes to Geely, and thought while touching his chin. Right. Dino suddenly remembered. What did you say just now? The wizards of the Fairy Tale Guild are just like that, right? Jerry frowned. Her keen intuition told her not to admit it. Forget it, there's not much time anyway, so let's stop here. Without waiting for Geely in front of him to answer, Dino spoke directly. Raise your palm to the woman. Shadow magic. Under his feet, several shadows appeared and rushed towards Geely very quickly, directly controlling her entire body without waiting for her to react. Bound together and suspended in front of Dino. Geely struggled. Apart from the fact that her puppet strike magic external body technique was quite poor, she couldn't resist Dino's moves at all, and could only struggle constantly. But the sudden appearance of the shadow is also very strange. The more she struggled, the more the shadow was bound, and La's chest hurt. Then shall I kill you next? Dino looked at Geely in front of him, stretched out his hand and took out a long knife from the alien space, aiming at the girl. To be honest, he felt that killing someone should be no problem. Brother Dino, are you going to kill her? The Taurus over there also dispelled the magic directly after losing Geely's control. Lucy also stood up from the ground, looking at Geely, who was quickly under control, hesitant. Yeah, it should be killed. Dino nodded. Without a reason enough to convince him, he would never let her go. Although this jelly is also pretty good looking. He has a pair of red curled ponytails and a cute face. But since he's an enemy, it doesn't seem to matter if he kills him. Lucy was silent. She didn't feel qualified to persuade Dino to let her go. Had to stand by in silence. And the person involved, Geely, also looked a little scared. Hearing what they said, it seemed that he planned to kill him. This Dino. Then just as Dino was about to start, a queen's voice sounded. Urza in armor fell from the sky. Go straight to the front and call out Dino. Miss Urza. Lucy's face was pale, and he secretly ran out to complete his S-rank mission. Who would have thought that Dino would meet Dino as soon as he arrived on the island, and then he would be taught a severe lesson and be beaten by a celestial spirit without being able to fight back. It's fine now. Urza also came, and this time it was no way to escape. Yo Urza. Dino greeted. Urza had a gloomy face. Dino, you should also know that Natsu and the others have violated the guild's rules. Yes, take the S-rank mission privately. Dino nodded. Then why didn't you bring them back? Although I don't know your strength, you still beat Natsu and the other three. Urza said. Listen to this. Dino scratched his head awkwardly. Ahaha, I taught them a lesson when I first went to the island, but before I took them away, I accidentally fell asleep and made you all run to the island. No, I was just about to kill this woman. Then take them back there, Dino said. Whether it's true or false, just deal with it casually first. He wouldn't say that it was a big deal to watch the fun, and then ran over to play. Is that so? Urza's expression softened after hearing Dino's answer. Seems to believe Lucy. At this time, he suddenly noticed that Lucy next to him seemed to be sneaking away, and immediately scolded him and tied it up without saying a word. Miss Urza, spare your life. Lucy begged. Urza, however, was unmoved, looking at Jerry in front of Dino with a frown. Dino, the Fairy Tale Guild never kills. It's not good for you to kill every time, or let him go, Urza said. Dino lifted his eyelids slightly. After thinking about it, he also joked directly. Okay, if you kiss me, I will let him go. Okay? Hey. Urza and Lucy both stared in disbelief. At this time, Anon on his shoulder said promptly, Dino wants Urza to be my mother. Urza was dumbfounded. She really couldn't react, and her face was tightly together. The news received in such a short time seems to be indeed very large. She's okay with being Anon's mom or something. But kissing Dino? Honestly, she admires Dino. But this doesn't mean that he likes him. Just think about it a little bit. That's it, no problem. Still nodded in agreement. Go straight ahead. Chapter 25, Urza, your heartbeat is a little faster. 5. Moment. Dino was stunned. I couldn't help touching my face. My brain was a little confused. He was just habitually talking and diverting the topic. Why was it so sudden? And Urza should have someone he likes, right? Cough cough. Okay, then let her go. But Dino didn't think too much about it. He just waved his hand to release Geely. The body was suspended and flew slowly in the direction of the village. Speak the truth. He really didn't expect Urza to be so bold, even though it's been 2 years since he was in Fairy Tale. But the relationship with these women are also ordinary friends, and they are still in contact. That's why I usually chat and meet more often in the guild. Of course, there is no way to fall in love with him after seeing both sides. But Urza's sudden behavior caused Dino to have no idea what to do. Miss Urza, you. Lucy was also shocked by the scene just now. She really couldn't believe it. Okay? Urza looked at her and understood what she was thinking. Why, doesn't Lucy think Dino is very attractive? He is strong and handsome, but he is a little lazy and has no faults. I like him just like Inon. I admire him very much. Urza replied. However, appreciation doesn't mean love. I also appreciate Gray and Natsu, but Dino a little more, Urza said. Lucy nodded understandingly. Just as he was about to say something, Urza stared at her with a pulled face. Lucy, you should know why I'm here, Urza said in a flat tone. Lucy swallowed and felt that the surrounding temperature seemed to be a little low. Brother Dino, take me away. Looking at Dino who was slowly flying away, he also called out in grievance. Snoring. However, Dino was already asleep at the moment. On a tree, the short figure with the red and blue mask covering half of his face looked at Urza and Lucy, and finally looked at Dino, who was flying away, and pondered. Who is that man? It seems to be very powerful. Saludai said to himself. Soon disappeared in place. That night, Urza sat in one of the houses with Lucy tied up with Happy and confronted Dino. Natsu and the others violated the guild rules, so I have the right to press them all back, and there will be other people to do the task. Urza said. A face is expressionless, and at this moment it seems to be a robot that simply performs tasks, and no emotions are leaked. Ah yes, they do need to take them away for breaking the guild's rules. But you should have known about the situation in this village. If you don't help, it will be troublesome, Dino said. Seeing the anxious atmosphere on her shoulders, Inon flew directly into Urza's arms, looking at Urza with her big innocent eyes. Urza frowned, reached out and touched Inon and fell silent. Then this task is handed over to you. Although your strength has not been assessed, most people in the guild know that you have this strength, so you can solve this task, and the rewards belong to you. After thinking for a while, Urza ordered. Listen to this. Dino reaches out and scratches his head with an embarrassed look on his face. If I remember correctly, this so-called Lord Zero Emperor is Gray's early senior brother, so I have to kill them if I do it. Dino didn't want to take this shit. The main reason is naturally because this mess is not good for him. Killing Gray's senior brother would also make him somewhat uncomfortable, and he really had no interest in this thankless thing. Why do you like killing people so much? Urza is in trouble. She had never seen a member with such a heavy heart to kill. If it wasn't for Dino's obedience to the rules and not frequent assignments, he would have been summoned by the council members long ago. Because I don't like giving my enemies any chance of a comeback, Dino replied. He likes the Fairy Tail Guild very much, but he is also speechless about the rules of not killing people in this guild. Every time he gives his enemies a chance, this is the time when those enemies will come back. That Urza looked confused. He looked at Dino with complicated eyes and didn't know what to think in his heart. Urza, your heart is beating fast. Inon makes up the knife. Bang tilde. Urza clenched her fists for her. Immediately, Inon looked at Dino wrongly, as if she was thinking of him for help. Forget it, it's my luck that I got involved, Dino complained. Taking a deep breath, he turned and walked outside. This time, I also agreed to Urza's request and took over this task directly. But at the same time, Dino also decided to go back and start investigating the information of other future opponents, and solve it in advance. Otherwise, it would be too much trouble every time Urza and the others beg for mercy. I see, Dino, you still don't want to kill people at will. Urza was very pleased. The corners of Dino's mouth twitched as he just walked out. Grandmas, be sure to let Narian feel the beatings of society, to express their depression. Swoosh tilde. Got windy. Dino disappeared into the village and flew towards the moon temple in the forest. Now, in the temple of the moon, Leon is sitting there, and below are Sarudi, Toby, and Chili. Someone is coming. As soon as Saludai was about to speak, he felt someone coming towards them at a very fast speed. Oh? Is it Gray? Sure enough, these people still like to stop other people's things. Then I will kill him, Leon said. Saludai shook his head. It's not Gray, it's a very mysterious guy who seems to have the magic of ice and the magic of wind. Leon narrowed his eyes. There was a smile on the corner of his mouth, and he said disdainfully, it looks like Gray's apprentice. Sarudi was speechless. This guy is really naive.